Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from gooey monsters on the streets to alien corpses that may just leave you shocked. Ready? Let's jump in. Imagine taking a walk on a rainy day and seeing this. Just in case you didn't see it, there's an electricity visibly crackling in the umbrella of the man. If you're like me who does not know much about electricity or likes to mess around with it, you'll be scared or at least startled. The man in the clip, however, is laughing, which I wouldn't be if I were in his situation. I showed this to Julius, expecting him to tell me this was fake, as usual, but this time his eyes lit up, which only meant he had an explanation grounded in science, and truly he did. According to him, high voltage alternating current, HVAC for short, power lines can induce voltage in conductive objects within their electromagnetic field. The EMF is a result of the electrical current flowing through the separated phases of the power lines. He also added that under the right circumstances, you can carry a fluorescent tube under the lines and it will light up due to the induced voltage. He also added that in certain circumstances, it can also cause burns on the feet of animals, particularly those with a wide steppe spread, such as cows. I went through the comments of the original post and found someone who mentioned that there have been reports, particularly from places like Wisconsin, where cows have shown decreased milk production potentially due to EMF exposure. So it turns out what we are seeing isn't too wild. The only weird thing is it's visible in the umbrella. Now I know what you're thinking. Is the man really in danger? Did he survive? Well, we don't know what happened to him, but this video was posted, so he must be fine, right? Next, we've got another strange phenomenon, but this time it's a natural one.
What is that?
Did you hear those sounds? The lady recording this video had been hearing strange sounds from the sky. It sounded like thunder, but at the same time, it didn't. She's a 7th generation Floridian, according to her, and she's never heard anything like this. She took to one of our paranormal platforms to share her experience, and sure enough, people were ready with all sorts of theories. The firmament theory showed up. It was not the only one, though. Some suggested that it might be high-tension power lines. I have my theories too, but this time I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think?
What is that?
A woman was walking home one night when she spotted something extraordinary. Perched on one of the light poles was a bird, but not just any bird. It looked like it was engulfed in flames. The bird stood there, glowing a vibrant orange, its feathers shimmering like they were made of fire. The fiery bird remained on the pole for a while, its glowing presence casting an eerie light around it. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it took off into the night sky, taking the glowing aura with it. Now, this sighting brings to mind ancient legends of the phoenix, a mythical bird that is said to be engulfed in flames. According to legend, the phoenix is a symbol of rebirth, burning itself to ashes only to rise again anew. These tales have been passed down through generations, much like the stories of Bigfoot and fairies, creatures often relegated to the realm of myth and tradition. But in this case, it seems all these legendary characters are somehow coming to life. Could it be that these mythical creatures are real, or is there another explanation for these extraordinary sightings? Perhaps AI? Share your thoughts.
Glass.
This next footage was retrieved from a trail camera. The owner of the footage had set up the camera in the woods to track wildlife in the area, but instead, he came across something entirely unexpected. A strange man emerged from the darkness. His chest was thrust outwards, facing upwards, while his arms were awkwardly positioned behind him, pointing downward. His head was also tilted back as if something was pulling him upwards by his chest. Occasionally, he let out these strange sounds that echoed through the forest. No one knows who this man is or what could be going on there. However, Aaron speculates that this man could be a skinwalker, given his odd behavior. Skinwalkers are mythical creatures from Native American folklore, often described as beings with the ability to transform into animals or other people, typically exhibiting bizarre and unsettling behaviors like this. So is that the case here, or are we simply looking at a man having seizures? Next, we've got a fish that could be best described as a candidate for the Finding Nemo mission. This footage was allegedly captured and emphasized on allegedly by a deep-sea adventurer who came across this rather unique creature during his exploration. It's a fish that has two faces, one in the usual place at the head and another where the tail is supposed to be. The second face, though not functional, gives this fish an extraordinarily peculiar appearance. Such an odd fella. This adventurer was astounded to find this bizarre fish, which looked like something out of a science fiction movie. Its strange anatomy makes it a fascinating subject for marine biologists and enthusiasts alike. What could cause a fish to develop such an unusual feature? Is it a rare genetic mutation, or perhaps an adaptation to its deep-sea environment? Aaron, for the first time in history, thinks this is AI, but what do you guys think? While walking at a sandy place on his way home, a man started to hear strange sounds coming from an odd-looking manhole covered in the sand. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, he got closer, and as expected, when it came to these things, the sounds grew louder. The noise is hard to describe, so try to listen. Did you hear that? It's very haunting and chilling, echoing eerily in the stillness of the night. What do you think could be down there making these chilling noises? Given that we can't see anything, the mysterious sound in the end leaves a lot to the imagination. Are we dealing with an animal trapped below, some kind of mechanical issue, or something even more inexplicable? Share your thoughts. Am I the only one wondering what's going on here? Not sure if you can tell, but we've got a man standing in front of his car, shaking a bale creature that looks almost humanoid. As he lifts it, another larger creature crawls towards him from the woods, picking up a stick in a threatening manner. Call me a skeptic, but these creatures look like humans who have painted themselves white. But why? I suspect they could be thieves who orchestrated this whole act to get the man out of his car. The idea is that the one who emerged would rush into the car and drive off while the man was distracted. Unfortunately, we didn't see the end of the footage, so we can't be sure. But if you were in this situation, what would you do? How would you react to these strange pale figures? Share your thoughts and strategies in the comments below. My team and I came across this video that was made to demonstrate how scary the world would be if the central bank digital currency, CBDC, was implemented. Take a look.
Your monthly universal basic income has been deposited into your account. For more information, press details. You have been paid 2,000 central bank digital tokens. The following fees are being deducted: accommodation fee, food ration fee, recycling fee, clean energy fee, personal greenhouse gas emissions fee, climate change fee, diversity fee. Your current remaining balance is 5 central bank digital tokens, and if not spent, it will expire in 7 days.
Did you see that? As soon as the money was paid, deductions were immediately made, and the rest of the money was set to expire in a few days. Well, this is wild. Now, for those who do not know what this is, let me explain. The Central Bank Digital Currency, or CBDC, is a digital form of a country's currency, issued and regulated by its central bank. Unlike traditional money, CBDC would be entirely digital, meaning transactions could be tracked, controlled, and potentially manipulated by the issuing authority. The video highlights a potential downside of such a system: the ability of the government or central bank to set conditions on how and when the money can be used. In this case, the money expiring after a few days is a chilling concept. What do you think about the idea of a central bank digital currency?
Your current remaining balance is 5 central bank digital tokens, and if not spent, it will expire in 7 days.
Ever seen anything like this? The water appears to be moving like it's boiling, but it's not hot. It's like something is causing the water to jump upwards, and the movement is very consistent. This phenomenon is quite puzzling. The water seems to be in a state of constant agitation, creating the illusion of boiling without any heat. Could there be several explanations for this strange occurrence? One possibility is that there is an underwater spring or vents releasing air or gas bubbles which can cause the water to appear if it's boiling. These bubbles would create a consistent upward movement, making the water surface appear to be in a constant state of agitation. It could also be mechanical or man-made influences. For instance, a submerged pump or a nearby construction site could be causing vibrations or water disturbances that lead to this unusual movement. Whatever the cause, it's fascinating to observe. The consistent boiling-like motion of the water is both mesmerizing and mysterious. What do you think could be behind this strange water behavior?
I have a question. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Right? It's got like little wings or whatever. I saw it. I thought it was like a flower petal, but clearly it's not.
This creature was picked up by a woman who came out of her house to go on a walk. It lay on the ground, lifeless, and looked like a leaf from afar. But as she picked it up, this thing looked nothing like a leaf. It was a rather dried-up fairy-like creature. It had yellow petal-like wings that seemed delicate and translucent. It had long legs similar to those of a human and 2 sets of arms, one positioned on top of the other. The creature was incredibly small, no larger than the length of a palm, with an insect-like appearance with an almost ethereal quality to its tiny form. Could this really be a fairy, or is this evidence that they exist? Or are we simply dealing with something else? Share your thoughts.
It's got like little wings or whatever. I saw it. I thought it was like a flower petal, but clearly it's not.
This footage was taken at an unknown location. The person filming was outside in a field when he noticed something unusual in the sky. Light orbs were hovering above, moving in a distinct formation. These mysterious orbs of light floated in the air, their movements synchronized in a way that seemed almost intentional. No one knows what they could be or how they got there. The strange sight left many questions unanswered. Interestingly, there is another clip of a similar sighting. In this footage, some ladies witnessed 3 orbs ahead of them while they were at an unknown location on top of a mountain. These orbs formed a perfect triangle in the sky. They hovered there for a while, creating an eerie and mesmerizing spectacle. Then one by one, they began to disappear, vanishing in a thin air. The source, nature, and purpose of these orbs remains a mystery to this day. What do you think they could be? Could they be a natural phenomenon, advanced technology, or something otherworldly?
Now you need to get him moving and warm up. To get him up and get him moving. This is not going to help. He's cold? Yeah, now's the time you've got to move. And they got to move your body.
No, it just disappeared.
We're here with you.
They're disappearing.
They're here. They're here.
They heard us up on the mountain.
They did. All right, come on. Okay, baby. Yeah, let's get you moving. You feel funny? You fall down?
Then they disappeared.
This is allegedly happening in India. Residents of West Delhi have all reported an unusual phenomenon. Instead of water, a blue foamy liquid has been coming from their taps. No one knows for sure what this could be. Some speculate that it might be factory waste that has somehow seeped into the water system. The idea that industrial pollutants could contaminate the local water supply is concerning and raises many questions about safety and regulation. Authorities are investigating the cause, but until they provide a clear explanation, the residents are left with this mysterious and alarming situation. What do you think could be the reason for this strange blue liquid? If this doesn't scare you a bit, well, I don't know what will. I mean, it looks cool though. A dog that has been given a set of robotic limbs along with a helmet. The robotic limbs mimic the movement of its actual limbs, creating a very bizarre yet fascinating sight. Watching the dog move with such precision thanks to the advanced technology is both unsettling and impressive. It shows just how far technology has come, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible. It's a remarkable blend of biology and robotics, highlighting the incredible innovations happening in science and technology. But it also raises many questions and concerns about the future of such advancements. What you just listened to was my original commentary for the clip. Julius showed up out of nowhere and laughed at me. Guys, am I missing something? For those who don't believe we could be in a simulation, take a look at this.
Wait. Babe, stop cussing. Wait, she's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on?
In a parking lot, a woman was spotted frozen in time. She stood perfectly still with 2 bags in her hands and her feet crisscrossed. What makes this even more bizarre is that the cars on the road behind her were moving normally, and it seemed no one noticed she was stuck in time. This scene is incredibly freaky. It's as if she was plucked out of the flow of time while everything else continued around her. The sight of a person frozen in mid-motion, completely unaware, adds an eerie twist to the mundane environment of a parking lot. Could this be a glitch in our reality, evidence that we might be living in a simulation, or is there a more rational explanation, perhaps a medical condition or an elaborate prank?
Dog, is no one seeing this? What is going on? Look, even
That's
looking.
crazy.
No, she's looking. Look.
What?
A home security camera set outside a building overlooking the city captured something remarkable. It was late at night when, out of nowhere, a bright flash of light illuminated everything, then vanished just as suddenly. As soon as the flash occurred, the lights went out and then came back on almost immediately after the flash disappeared. If you look closely at the left side of the footage where the light flashes, you'll notice a beam of red light fading away. What could this have been? Most people might assume it's a transformer blowing, but considering how it lit up the sky and everything around, it seems to be something else entirely. Some believe that this is evidence of alien activity, speculating that the bright flash and the red beam of light are not of earthly origin. The sudden and intense nature of the light, coupled with the power outage, adds an air of mystery to the event. What do you think? Could this be a mundane electrical issue, or is there a chance that it's something more extraordinary? A homeowner had set up a security camera in his home after he started suspecting that something was off. One day, he decided to place a camera in the kitchen aimed directly at the dining room table and chairs. As you can see in the footage, everything was calm and quiet, nothing out of the ordinary. The room was still, and the sounds were the faint hums of household appliances. Then out of nowhere, something shocking happened. A straight crack began to form, starting from the stove and extending to where the chairs were placed. The tiles on the floor began to shatter along with this line, creating a jagged path of destruction. There was no visible cause for this sudden disaster. No one was in the kitchen, and nothing appeared to have caused the tiles to shatter in such a dramatic way. It was as if an invisible force had torn through the kitchen floor, leaving destruction in its wake. Julius believes the tiles weren't set well and are only coming off due to that. He believes the man might have set the camera because what he had been hearing and feeling was the events leading up to this. Aaron, however, believes this was a paranormal event, but what do you guys think? A family went to the zoo and came across an unusual sight, a crocodile. The creature had its mouth slightly ajar, but it appeared lifeless, all dried up and stiff, lying on the ground. However, upon closer inspection, they noticed some movement in its mouth. The skin on its lower jaw was pulsating slightly. Don't be fooled by how dead it looks. This creature is probably just in hibernation. Crocodiles, like many reptiles, can enter a state of torpor, especially in cooler weather. During this time, they remain very still and reduce their metabolic rate to conserve energy. This can make them appear lifeless, but they are very much alive and will become active again once conditions improve. So while it might look alarming at first glance, it's likely that this crocodile is just taking a long, deep rest, waiting for the right moment to spring back to life. About the strange things in its mouth, well, maybe an expert here could help us with that. What is happening here? This cat is walking on the tiles, but something very strange is going on. It looks like the tiles are moving like a treadmill because the cat is staying in the same place while the tile floor appears to be shifting beneath it. At first glance, it seems like the cat is simply strolling along, but a closer look reveals that its surroundings are not behaving normally. The tiles move in perfect synchronization with the cat's steps, creating the illusion that the floor itself is moving. The cat, despite its efforts to move forward, remains stationary, as if caught in a surreal treadmill-like effect. This scene looks so unusual. Could it be some sort of glitch or just an illusion? Julius thinks he's slipping on the tiles, but Aaron thinks otherwise. This is definitely a cowfish, at least that's what I would call it based on its appearance. It's a fish with the head of a cow, a truly bizarre and fascinating creature. But don't worry, this isn't some strange new species discovered in the depths of the ocean. It's AI generated, a product of advanced algorithms designed to create imaginative and surreal images by blending features of different animals. The cowfish is a perfect example of the incredible potential of AI in art and creativity. By combining the familiar and the fantastical, AI can generate images that challenge our perceptions and spark our imaginations. What do you think? The cowfish may not be real, but it certainly gets us thinking about the endless possibilities of AI. I was a bit shocked by this footage when I first saw it, but then I realized that it looked so familiar. I bet it does to you too. It's a scene from the Suicide Squad movie, that humanoid weasel creature licking the wired prison door. In the 2021 movie, The Suicide Squad, there's a character named Weasel who is a strange humanoid creature with an unsettling appearance and behavior. In this particular scene, Weasel is licking the prison door. Movies often use such memorable scenes to create a lasting impact, and it seems like this one did just that. It's easy to get drawn into the strange and eerie visuals, mistaking them for something real, especially when seen out of context. So the next time you come across a weird or shocking clip, take a moment to think if it might be from a movie or TV show.
He's a weasel. He's harmless. I mean, he's not harmless. He's killed 27 children, but, you know, we got him to, I think he's agreed to do this.
But unlike the previous footage, which was a movie scene, this fish you are looking at here is very much real. A man caught this dead fish, and as he picked it up and pressed the side of its head, a crocodile-like jaw emerged from its mouth with razor-sharp teeth. This is called the viper dogfish. The viper dogfish, or Trailcam cabiae, is a deep-sea predator known for its terrifying appearance. It inhabits the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean, primarily around Japan, Taiwan, and Hawaii. This fish is rarely seen by humans due to the depths at which it lives, making this footage even more intriguing and unsettling. The viper dogfish has a slender, elongated body and a head equipped with a unique jaw structure. When it opens its mouth, it reveals long, needle-like teeth that are perfect for snagging prey in the dark depths of the ocean. The jaw mechanism allows the fish to protrude its lower jaw to capture unsuspecting prey efficiently. Those who are into anime will be very shocked to watch this footage. A man was walking by the woods when he came across a light coming from within the trees. Curious, he got closer to have a look, and this is what he found. There was a creature with many glowing tails in the woods. It looked remarkably like the nine-tailed fox from Naruto anime geeks who know exactly what I mean. But this creature is a character of myth, so how is this possible? The creature is not easily unidentifiable. It's unclear if it's indeed a fox or not. It was just in the woods, with its tail swishing about in the dark, illuminating the place. After a while, the creature leapt off the ground and vanished. Do you think this is fake or real? Could it be a hoax, a digital creation? Or is there a possibility that this mythical creature might actually exist? This footage was taken a few days ago in Brazil. An odd-looking craft was spotted in the sky. It had a distinct cone shape. The person who took the footage was driving on the road and stuck in traffic when he noticed the craft up there. It seemed no one else had noticed the craft as well. The cone-shaped object hovered silently, with no visible means of propulsion or wings, which ruled out the possibility of it being a conventional aircraft or drone. The observer recording the footage for several minutes captured the craft's stationary position in the sky. Despite the busy road and numerous vehicles around, no one else appeared to react or even glance upward, which is quite surprising given the unusual sight. What do you think this mysterious cone-shaped craft could be? This dark mass was captured at the side of the road. It looks like a black goo shaped like a person in dark robes, doing handstands and spinning around. This is definitely not your regular roadside pedestrian. The way it moves and shifts its shape is highly unusual, almost like it's defying the laws of physics. The eerie fluidity and the lack of distinct features make it resemble something straight out of a science fiction movie. Julius thinks it looks like an AI-generated image or video. The smooth, almost unnatural motion and the surreal appearance could really be the result of advanced visual effects or AI technology. In recent years, AI has made significant strides in creating hyper-realistic images and videos that can easily fool the human eye. Is this really one of its creations? This strange creature was found in the murky waters. Someone spotted it moving in calculated steps. It looks odd. Only a part of the creature was visible on the water's surface. It has smooth skin, and it looks like the tentacle of an octopus, but it's hard to tell if this is an actual octopus because the water is very murky. The way it moves, with deliberate and almost mechanical precision, adds to the mystery. Could it be an octopus, or is it something else entirely? The murky water makes it difficult to identify, and its smooth, almost seamless surface gives it an otherworldly appearance. Some speculate it could be a previously undiscovered species. Some say it could be a river monster, but skeptics think this is just a hoax. You've seen it too, so what say you?
Hey, tell me this doesn't look like there was a mermaid sleeping here. Like, look at that. Did I just find a mermaid imprint? I had to have, right? Tell me there wasn't a mermaid right here.
The girl woke up at 6 a.m. to take a walk by the beach when she came across something unusual. There, imprinted in the sand, was the outline of what looked like a fishtail. The distinct shape with its fin-like edges and detailed markings made it clear that this wasn't just a random indentation. The size of the impression suggested a creature much larger than any fish commonly found near the shore. Intrigued and a bit puzzled, she began to wonder, could it be the mark of a mermaid, as legends often suggest, or perhaps a large unidentified marine creature had visited the beach during the night? What do you think left this intriguing imprint on the beach?
Did I just find a mermaid imprint? I had to have, right? Tell me there wasn't a mermaid right here.
This footage was taken by a resident in an apartment from across the street. It shows a humanoid creature that's slightly crouched and dancing uncaringly on the pavement. The creature's movements are fluid but unsettling, with an almost eerie grace. Its limbs bend and twist in ways that seem unnatural for a human, and its overall appearance is strange and otherworldly. The creature looks out of place, like it doesn't belong in the everyday urban setting. The way it moves with no apparent concern for its surroundings adds to the surreal quality of the scene. The resident who captured the footage zoomed in to get a better look, and the details are both fascinating and creepy. The creature's skin appears smooth, almost too smooth, and its proportions are slightly off compared to a typical human. Is this a real creature, or could it be a hoax, or perhaps a highly advanced animatronic? Some viewers speculate that it might be a being from another dimension or a mythical entity. Others suggest it could be a performance artist in a very convincing costume. What do you think? This footage we're about to watch was found by the local police in the woods. It's said that the owners of the camera were never found, but I'm not entirely sure about that fact. In the footage, a couple who had decided to camp out in the woods was scared awake by some noise coming from the woods that was getting closer. Take a look and listen for the noise.
Fuck. It's bad.
There it is. Can you hear it? It was a long, loud howl that echoed through the woods. The sound kept on for a while and would stop intermittently. As it seemed to be getting closer, they also heard snapping sounds around them, so they decided to head back to their car. However, seeing as it was late, they lost their way. At the end, you hear a loud growl and screams from both the man and the woman, followed by the sound of an animal. No one knows what it was or where the couple went after that. The camera falls to the ground and no one sees anything, only the sounds of the terrifying encounter. What do you think happened? The footage leaves a lot of questions unanswered. The mysterious sounds, the sudden disappearance, and the unsettling noises suggest something out of the ordinary occurred. Could it have been a wild animal, a supernatural entity, or something else entirely? This footage is believed by some to be real evidence of an alien captured in a lab and strapped to a table. The alien, often described as a grey, is not dead or unconscious. The creature moves its fingers slightly and jerks its head back and forth as the person probing it examines its mouth. Watching this video, it's hard not to feel a sense of unease. The alien's movements, though subtle, are unmistakable. Its fingers twitch, and its head reacts to the prodding, suggesting it's experiencing discomfort or distress. But the big question remains, is this real footage or just a hoax? The contents and the source of the footage are also crucial factors. Where did this footage come from? Who were the people conducting the experiment? I guess we will never know. There are a lot of hybrid creatures around, like the mule and others, that look quite reasonable in their mixture. Now take a look at this footage taken back in 1972. It shows a horse-like creature with a very long neck. Well, not as long as a giraffe, but still quite prominent. The face of the creature, however, looks like that of a kangaroo or some other marsupial. Could this be a case of a mixture between a horse and a kangaroo, or is it something else entirely? The footage is intriguing. The creature's posture is graced like a horse, yet its elongated neck and kangaroo-like face make it look unlike anything commonly known. The proportions are unusual, blending the features of two very different animals. Hybrid creatures do exist, but they usually come from closely related species. For example, mules are a cross between horses and donkeys, which belong to the same genus. Horses and kangaroos, however, are from entirely different taxonomic families, making a natural hybridization between them virtually impossible. Anyone with an explanation? Don't call me a skeptic, but isn't it funny we have a video this old with such amazing quality but struggle with our alien clips from just a decade ago? Well, this is my cue to move on to the next clip. This footage was taken in the sky over Arizona. In it, you can see several small objects moving about, seemingly interacting with each other as they flit around. What could they be?
What is this in the sky, y'all?
What the fuck is that, bro?
What is this?
In most sightings like this, people are quick to label them as UFOs, and it's easy to see why. The way these objects maneuver, swiftly changing directions and appearing to communicate, does indeed bring to mind the classic image of the extraterrestrial spacecraft. However, Julius thinks that they're just drones up there. It's a plausible explanation given the increasing prevalence of drones in recent years. Drones are often used for various purposes, including photography, surveillance, and recreational activities. Their advanced capabilities allow them to hover, move in precise patterns, and even perform complex maneuvers which could easily explain what we're seeing in the footage. So what do you think? Could these objects be drones controlled by someone on the ground, or is there a chance that there's something more mysterious?
What is this in the sky, y'all?
What the fuck is that, bro?
What is this?
This footage was taken at night by a couple who were out for a walk. As they strolled, they noticed a strange-looking blue light in the sky. The light was rectangular and just floating there, glowing softly against the dark backdrop. The couple were both intrigued and puzzled by the sight. The rectangular shape of the light was unusual, not something typically seen in the night sky. It didn't move like an airplane or a drone, it just hovered silently, emitting an eerie blue glow. Some people believe it could be a new type of technology or a secret military project. Others think it might be an alien spacecraft or some kind of otherworldly phenomenon. What do you think this blue rectangular light could be? While relatively blurry compared to our other footage, this particular clip captures something truly spectacular. In the clip, we see a creature moving towards land in the river. The waves behind the creature shows that it's a large creature and has some serious power to be moving at such speed with such large waves behind it. Upon emerging from the river, a transformation occurs and the creature takes on a human form, a form it didn't possess initially. But how is this transformation possible? So there's just one possible explanation. It's a shapeshifter. But are these beings real? That's hard to assert with absolute certainty. However, considering all that we've encountered on this channel, doubting it might not be a stretch. What do you think, though? Is that a possibility we should accept, or is this simply a cleverly devised hoax? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section, as we'd really love to hear it. Do you see that? Can you see how the creature stares directly and eerily at the camera? It's almost as though it knew it was being watched and wanted to let whoever on the camera to be aware of this fact. But you have got to wonder, is that really a gorilla, or are we dealing with a cryptid like a Bigfoot? Don't get me wrong, but when you take a closer look at the image, you'll realize that whatever it is, it's walking on its 2 feet, not necessarily on its knuckles like a gorilla would. I don't know about you, but if I owned this trail camera, I'd watch my back or avoid that part of the woods altogether. Remember the apparent peeping Bigfoot clip from earlier? Well, here's another one, only instead of hearing the people describe what happened, we actually see it happening. Have a look. Remarkable, isn't it? Based on the quality of the footage, however, it's hard to tell what we're dealing with. Some have suggested it could be a bear, but others in the paranormal community believe that we're actually dealing with a Bigfoot here. If you ask me, however, I have reservations. First of all, the creature's eyes are beady and small, which makes me doubt it's a Bigfoot. Secondly, I don't think this footage looks like the ones taken by trail cameras unless it's a normal camera. But if it is, how did their hands not shake while they recorded, and why didn't the creature take off? So many unanswered questions and red flags. Forgive me for playing the devil's advocate, but what do you think? Do you think the footage is real, or do you have reservations too? Tell us in the comments section. Now, I know I've shown you a lot of alien stuff in today's footage already, but none compares to what I'm about to show you, so brace yourselves. The footage begins with a typical security cam overlooking a pool, but it takes a sudden turn. The woman appears to levitate and either disintegrate or perhaps teleport to another place. Just before the woman disappears, however, you see them look around as though something ominous has happened. We don't see it, but a few seconds later, the woman disappears. Scary, huh? That someone could just disappear like that. But is it real, though? A part of me wants to believe it is, yet the logical part of me wants to find reasons for why it's not. What do you think, though? A final enigma before you go? Tell me what you feel we're dealing with here, because I really want to know. Next, we have funny footage that will make you smile. Just take a look. Yep, those are bears sitting comfortably in a pool. This may not be a trail camera footage, but boy, does it have the thrill. Given how chill the one filming is, I'm sure it's a regular thing there. Looks cute, doesn't it? How would you react if the local bears visited your pool on a daily basis? Tell us in the comments section. Speaking of creatures we have a hard time identifying, a subscriber of the channel sent this capture in. He believes it's a paranormal creature haunting his property. We've critically looked at the image for several days and can't seem to make out what it really is. Team member says he believes we're looking at a hog, but I personally don't see anything of interest or worry in the capture. Do you? Next, we have this very unusual trail cam capture of deer. Wondering what makes this capture unusual? Take a good look at the deer in the image. Do you see those claw marks? They look like they were inflicted by something really big and dangerous. But what could have done that? The truth is, no one knows, not even the one who uploaded the image online. He believes it could be a cougar or a bear, but I haven't known these creatures to let their prey go, especially once they'd captured it, unless by some stroke of luck. So tell us, what do you think happened to this deer? Would love to know your thoughts. No, that's not a real-life dragon, and no, it's not a genetically modified creature either. Yes, it's real. It's called a flying lizard. Flying lizards, also called dracos or gliding lizards, belong to the agamid lizard family in the animal kingdom. They're capable of gliding flight using membranes known as patagia, which are created by an enlarged set of ribs. They are arboreal insectivores and highly territorial. They typically claim one or a few trees as their home, fiercely guarded by their males. They're known to live in tropical rainforests. Found across Southeast Asia and southern India, these creatures are fairly common in forests, areca gardens, teak plantations, and shrub jungles, and are nearly never found lingering on the forest floor. So as much as I'd want to tell you something dangerous is happening here, that creature doesn't pose a threat to anyone if you leave it alone. Relax, the dragons aren't here yet. Do you believe in angels? Well, if you didn't, this next footage will challenge your beliefs. This video was supposedly recorded on a surveillance camera in China. The footage captures cars on the road during what appears to be an ordinary evening. As ordinary as the footage starts, something extraordinary occurs. If you pay attention, you'll see a big white truck heading towards a person crossing the road. The truck driver doesn't notice, but just before he runs over the individual running on the bike, something supernatural happens. And it happens so fast that I'm sure not many noticed it. Just before the bike was run over by the truck driver, a human, or at least I think it's a human with supernatural abilities, moves in with the speed of light, grabs the man, and seemingly teleports to the other side. The rescued man is as equally confused as we are. The rescuer is kind enough to make sure the man is safe before leaving. Is this proof of superheroes living amongst us? Many who have seen this footage think so. Others think it might be an angel. What about you? What do you think? Also, have you seen, experienced, or heard such an encounter? Care to share? Next, we have another trail cam footage taken from a remote woodland area. We've no idea what we're looking at. Perhaps you could help. Did you see it? Watch again. You see it, don't you? There's quick movement from the right side of the frame to the left. The camera's position is quite the distance from the moving object, but whatever it is, it's quite fast. We attempted zooming in to perhaps discover what the moving object is, and this is what we saw. You see it too, don't you? There's no being in it. It just looks like moving fog and smoke, but how's that even possible, especially at that speed? Could it be a paranormal creature? Could it be the result of zooming in the low-quality image? Or could the footage be edited? Share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear it. For our next clip, we travel back in time to 1994 for footage not many have seen. Take a look. Yep, that's a man in the woods alone with a Bigfoot. The exact location is near Deduct Spring in the Blue Mountain Range in Oregon. You can tell from his heavy breathing that the man's very anxious and perhaps even scared. His shaky hands make it hard to tell what he's scared of, but a few seconds into the footage and it becomes apparent. There's a giant a few meters away from him with a human-like gait, yet having an ape-like body. Its arms are unusually large and it walks as though it was very heavy. It looks like it could really cause some damage to the man if it wanted to, which explains his heavy breathing. But for some odd reason, the creature isn't interested in him. The man recording the footage believes it's a Bigfoot, and I'm tempted to say I do believe him. I mean, how else do we explain what we're seeing here? Bear in mind that this is 1994 and CGI and special effects were not as popular as they are today. Unless, of course, that's a man in a suit. But that's least likely if you ask me. What do you think, though? Ah, the mysteries of trail cameras, always ready to capture the unexpected. In this particular image, nestled among the trees, there's something truly intriguing. It's a creature, no doubt, and it appears to be rather massive, covered in a copious amount of fur. Now, the first thought that might cross your mind is a bear. They're known to frequent wooded areas, but there's something peculiar about the way this creature stands. It's almost upright, which is unusual for a bear. They do stand on their hind legs occasionally, but not quite like this. So here's the intriguing part. Could this be a Bigfoot? You know, the legendary figure often associated with large, hairy, human-like beings said to roam the wilderness. A part of me thinks so, but you look at the image again and you realize it's more a man than it is Bigfoot, especially when you take a critical look at its face. Is there another cryptid out there like this, or am I merely overthinking stuff? If you thought that was weird, then wait till you see this clip. The footage starts with the one filming zooming in on his target. It's easy to get lost with all the foliage around and assume we might be dealing with a plant or some squirrel or something. As the camera stabilizes and focuses, however, we realize that could not be any further from the truth than it already is. Once the camera focuses, a creature comes into sight. The head of a creature with a ghostly white head emerges from behind the trees, resembling a skeletal figure that appears to have risen from the dead. Its eye sockets are empty, revealing a deep darkness. Other facial features are black. The unknown skeletal-like creature swiftly hides behind the trees as it realizes its cover has been blown, never revealing its face again. Are we reliving Coco film just in the land of the dead, or is this just someone dressed up for the shoot for the sake of views? Or could it be the infamous rake? Is that even possible? Share your thoughts. If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode. If we know anything about rattlesnakes, it's that they are very dangerous, which is what makes what I'm about to show you more profound. Have a look. Did that make you jump? Believe me when I say that you're not the only one. This is yet another footage that's almost made me throw my phone away. But let's double back to the footage. Would you believe me if I told you that snake is the diamondback rattlesnake, which is also known as the eastern diamondback rattlesnake? Just in case you didn't know, that's one of the most venomous species of snake in the entire United States, and the man recording the footage casually walked up to it. Thankfully, the snake didn't immediately go for the kill and chose to warn him. You know how much we love these wild captures, but if you ever have to put yourself in danger, don't ever do it. Stay clear of wild animals. They're not pets and won't hesitate to attack you to protect themselves. Stay safe out there. Next, we have this odd-looking capture from a Trailcam located deep in the woods. Did you see it? Does it look like a normal capture you'd expect from a Trailcam? It's certainly not. The owner of the Trailcam was surprised that the image came out like this on his Trailcam, since he'd not added any effects to the image, and the device itself was not faulty in any way and captured high-definition images. A closer look at the tape, and you'll realize that it looks like a bear or some other type of canine. But bears don't turn camera images white. What then could be going on in the image? Are we dealing with a being from another dimension? Could it be an alien that ran some interference with the camera to delete footage it may have captured of itself, or is the uploader of the image simply lying? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. Amidst the haunting remnants of the Chernobyl disaster area within the decaying walls of an abandoned structure emerges a truly unexpected sight. A word of caution, what you are about to witness is not for the faint-hearted. Within the confines of an abandoned shelter, amidst relics of a forgotten era, emerges an enormous pink entity emanating an eerie, vicious aura. As I witnessed this otherworldly spectacle unfolding, a whirlwind of possibilities surged through my mind, catalyzed by memories of strange wolf-like figures I've encountered before. But let's return to the current tale. What in the irradiated realm could this aberration be? A vision of pink hues intertwined with elongated appendages boasting an astonishing magnitude. Could it be a denizen of the irradiated depths? Is it a colossal squid, or maybe a mutation-twisted, sense-deprived octopus? I might be jumping ahead. Remember, this is Chernobyl, and none of these creatures are indigenous to the region. Could it be a mutated earthworm, perhaps? All this speculation has left me quite dizzy. What do you think it is? I'd like to hear your thoughts, because frankly, I can't make out anything, unless, of course, the footage is fake. Now prepare for today's dose of cuteness overload, and it's no exaggeration when I say that. I mean, just take a look. Yes, that's an actual puppy getting on the back of a goose and then hugging it. While this is what you might call the unlikeliest of companionships and hugs, it doesn't change the fact that it's an adorable and lovely one. Have you come across any pups or animals having unusual friendships and unions? Please share in the comments section because we'd love to see it. For our next footage, we visit the Tejon Ranch in California. It's remarkable footage, isn't it? It's not every day you get to see a ferocious predator like the bear hunt in its full glory. See the speed and power. The piglet had no chance, and I won't be surprised if its parents fled for their lives as well. Knowing boars, however, that will be a rare occurrence as they'd fight to the death for their young. Either way, it's a sad end for the piglet, but that's the circle of life, I guess. Next, we have a Trailcam capture of a creature that looks like a grasshopper, but it's the size of a man. Did you see it? In the first capture, we see its face, and in the second, we see the rest of its body. My team and I almost discarded the footage because we thought it was a regular grasshopper caught on a trail camera. After a second look, and we realized that the creature was actually the size of a man. I mean, take a look at the trees in the background. Do you see its size correlation with the creature? It's definitely the size of a man, if not bigger. We cross-checked our database of paranormal and otherworldly creatures and couldn't find anything remotely like this creature. Could it be a new creature that's yet to be documented, or are we simply looking at a computer-generated image? Share your thoughts with us. A lady got in touch about some weird creatures from her garage. She stated they were birds, but she felt they might be mutated or something. Naturally, we're excited to see them. Confused at first, we were convinced they must be mutated creatures or perhaps even alien birds, given their oddly human-like size. Excited to publish the scoop, we delved into research, and what we discovered is truly surprising. These things are actually normal. Yes, my friends, they are normal. This is what baby barn owls actually look like. They're only weird because they haven't gotten their feathers yet. Who knew? The confusion about them being human-sized stems from the perspective of the capture. Thank God I found out. I'm pretty sure you would have roasted me alive for calling it alien. Thank God. Sorry to disappoint those policing my animal names et al. I had it right this time, and to those who learned something new, you're welcome. Now let's dive into an intriguing recording captured by a lady in a park. She was there to enjoy the scenery and unwind. Her relaxation was interrupted by an unsettling presence she couldn't identify. This led her to start recording, and the result is what you're about to witness on your screen. The footage shows a head emerging, its gaze fixed on her, only to swiftly retreat back into hiding. The figure, whatever it may be, appeared to engage in a game of peekaboo with a woman documenting the scene. The stalker possessed a pallid head devoid of any discernible hair, while a shadowy neck, possibly a dark scarf, enveloped the area. Deciphering the identity of this mysterious entity proves to be a challenge. Some suspect it might be a rake, whereas others think it's a skinwalker. Looking at it, I'm tempted to think it's a rake too, but I feel skepticism rise in my soul. I feel it's all fake and most probably a setup, but maybe that's just me. What do you think? Now let's step into the paranormal and mysterious. Take a look at this Trailcam capture. Do you see the creature in the capture? It looks like some type of ape, doesn't it? But take a closer look. You'll realize its body proportions are definitely not the same as any known ape. What's more, there's something funny going on with its face. Despite the blurry nature of the footage, the uploader believes the creature is holding a baby close to its face. My team and I struggle to see that, but can you? If you can, please do share in the comments section. As remarkable as that is, that's not what makes this capture special. The image was taken in Florida, and the uploader believes it's a capture of none other than the skunk ape. For those unfamiliar with the skunk ape, think of it as a version of Bigfoot that lives in the swamps. With that said, what do you think? Could this really be a skunk ape, or is this whole thing merely an exaggeration? Share your thoughts with us. Still on Bigfoot? Take a look at that. Looks like a Bigfoot, does it not? This image was apparently captured by a trail camera set up in the woods, and the uploader of the image believes he hit the paranormal motherlode. He believes he has finally captured the highest resolution of Bigfoot images to ever be caught on a trail camera. Taking a look at that image, we don't dispute that that looks like the back of a primate that's capable of standing on its 2 feet. It actually reminds me of the old Kong movies, although the picture is very detailed with the creature's fur et al. When you take a closer look at the edge of its fur that ties into the main image, it's unnaturally blurry, especially on the left side of its body. This makes me doubt the authenticity of the image, and I suspect that it might have been created using AI, but perhaps that's just me. What do you think? Next, we have footage that might blow your mind, and it's no exaggeration. Let's watch. In this video clip, the trail camera is positioned next to a tree covered in green growth, but the beauty of the forest isn't our focus today. Instead, it's this strange figure that emerges from nowhere and appears to be walking toward the camera. Although it's not fully visible, we can discern that it's black in appearance, possibly 9 or more feet high, and with fur that's as black as night. Could it be? No, that's the wrong thing to say. The right thing is, that's surely a Bigfoot, and this Bigfoot is big. Once it comes into full view, we can see its beautifully tousled hair and massive physique as it confidently makes its way down the trail. Although we've reviewed a lot of Bigfoot footage, this is the first time we've seen one with a physique like this. His includes taking into account its fur, height, and physique. You gotta wonder, why is this one so different? Is it because it's a never-before-seen variation of the species, or simply because the whole thing is a hoax? I believe this one is authentic, but what say you? Everyone experiences an unexpected change in plans from time to time, but I'm not sure the farmer in the next footage ever anticipated experiencing what I'm about to show you. This farmer in India headed out of his farm not expecting anything out of the ordinary. He was, however, met with the sudden disappearance of one of his goats, which he went on a quest to find. But what he stumbled upon is nothing short of a wild scene. There, on his property, he comes face to face with a massive, bloated python slithering along in all its serpentine glory. It seems that the mystery of the missing goat is being solved in the most surprising way possible. Now, confronted with a situation that's clearly out of his hands, the farmer takes the wise course of action. He decides to call in the experts, in this case animal control, to come and handle the python. After all, dealing with a creature of that size and nature isn't something one can tackle alone. We visit Cannock Chase, where there was an entire section of the woods dedicated to dolls which hang on trees. Yes, the footage you're seeing is no movie set or scene. It's an actual place somewhere in Cannock Chase. How the dolls got there, no one knows exactly. According to reports, the dolls showed up one day displayed in an eerie fashion. Sometime later, a Ouija board was spotted in the same place with no explanation. Naturally, all who saw it were scared, and the news spread of the unnatural dolls, spreading like wildfire. It was even uploaded online, which led to many speculations. Some believed the woodland area had been cursed, others believe a cult was responsible, and many others thought the place had been used for a ritual. After a year, no one went near the dolls for fear of dropping dead or worse. The rumors escalated and became so unbearable that a police officer got rid of all the dolls and Ouija board one day. That was the last anyone heard of them. But we can't help but wonder, did the police meddle with the supernatural? And is he fine? I guess we may never know. Next, we have this footage that was sent to us from another subscriber. He was very sure that his trail camera had captured a skinwalker, but instead of talking about it, perhaps I should let you see it. It's not always that you see a deer stand on its hind legs. Seeing the deer stand on its hind legs right in front of the camera made the individual who sent it in think it was a skinwalker playing with him. Based on my little knowledge of deer, however, I know that that's definitely not a skinwalker. Deer can stand on their hind legs when they need to reach food from higher heights, which is what I think is going on here. But I could be wrong. Of all the things a skinwalker could do in front of a trail camera, why would it stand on its hind legs? But those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Now here's another tale of peculiar woodland encounters. A family decided to have a nice outing in the woods. You know, just some quality time in nature. But as often happens in such settings, they stumble upon something they didn't anticipate. Out there, in the distance, they spotted a rather intriguing sight. A cryptid. This creature has dark fur and was strolling around on two legs. Now, if you ever heard about Bigfoot, this might ring a bell because it shares a few similarities. Naturally, the family didn't stick around to exchange pleasantries. Nope, they hightailed it out of there, and honestly, who can blame them? Speaking of Bigfoot, this next camera recording was taken amidst a dense forest, capturing quite an interesting scene. At first, we see a large creature moving slowly through the woods, but as it draws nearer, it suddenly breaks into a brisk sprint. Now, the big question here is, could this be a Bigfoot? If so, why is it charging toward the one filming? This behavior is quite different from the typical Bigfoot sightings where it's often seen just standing or strolling about. It's a unique twist that's piqued the interest of all who follow Bigfoot lore. But there's another layer to this story. The vibe in the video, it's not just the creature's unusual behavior that stands out, but also the atmosphere, which seems a bit tense and unsettling. This brings up a concern we often have with these kinds of videos. Is the person who filmed it okay? There's not a lot of information beyond his filming, but you have to wonder, did the Bigfoot attack? Was he hurt? What exactly happened? We're not privy to the information, but you can't deny that the video carries a sense of unease, adding another layer of intrigue to the whole mystery. Speaking of wild predators, take a look at this majestic and beautiful wild cat. Do you know what species of cat it is? Do you have an idea of what it's doing in the footage? Tell us in the comments section and add one rare fact about the creature. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Still on the paranormal, take a look at this image capture. We know trail cams capture a lot of weird and interesting stuff, but what is that? The individual whose trail camera captured this image is unsure of what it is. Some individuals online told him it might be frost on the camera. I don't know much about that, but this looks like a cobweb of some sort. Some in the paranormal community, however, believe that his camera may have captured something paranormal. The challenge, however, is the fact that we can't tell what it captured. What do you think of his hypothesis, though? Could this merely be frost on the lens as suggested, or are we dealing with something paranormal here? Have you had such an experience, or can you explain what we're seeing? Please talk to us in the comments section for our curiosity and insatiable search for answers that's consuming us. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but seriously, talk to us. Now, this next footage isn't exactly a trail cam capture. It's captured by a security cam in a Riverhill residence, and trust me, it's just as thrilling. In fact, have a look. Did you see it? On the left side of the clip, right as the clip kicks off, a brilliant blue streaks upward into the sky and swiftly vanishes towards the left. I don't know about you, but that looks like a spaceship going into hyperdrive. I was nearly convinced it was a hoax until I came across comments from others who claimed to have seen similar around the same time this was recorded. One user on the platform where this was shared said, I drove my husband to work on Saturday at 4 a.m. and saw some lights like a train. At least that's how my husband referred to it. It was long and in a line, and it was moving in slow motion, falling and then suddenly disappearing. So I'm thinking it was activity from that Friday night. Could we really be having an alien situation on our hands? Tell us what you think in the comments section. Speaking of funny pictures, ever heard of bearded pigs? No? Well, get ready for a laugh. Yes, those are pigs with a beard, and no, it's not a costume. Bearded pigs, scientifically known as Sus barbatus, are a unique and interesting species of pig found in the southeast of Asia. Despite the name, they don't sport beards like humans do. Instead, they have long, wiry hair along their jaws, giving them a unique appearance. Have you come across these species of pig before? What do you think of them? Will you be traveling to Asia to see them? Tell us in the comments section. Now immerse yourself in an otherworldly tale captured on footage by a man who claims to have a close encounter with the extraterrestrial kind. In the video, a mesmerizing pink light hovers and dances about, and according to the man behind the lens, this ethereal glow is none other than the elusive alien presence. As the story goes, he remembers feeling very dizzy and losing track of time during this strange encounter. What's even more interesting is the fact that his phone had trouble focusing, almost like something from another world was making it hard to see clearly through the camera. But that's not all. He said he had more footage of his abduction and even filmed their crafts as well. At the end of the footage, the camera falls and you hear footsteps and someone breathing.
The part that kind of freaks me out.
The big question is, could this be a real encounter with aliens, a quick look into the unknown, or is it a mix of different things, maybe natural events or just a trick of the mind? These two men stumble upon a chilling encounter at the corner of an abandoned house. What they find is a creature that straddles the line between human and monstrous. It has a woman-like figure with an otherworldly, ghastly face adorned with razor-sharp teeth. The creature's mouth opens and closes, a haunting spectacle that sends shivers down the spine. Local residents say it's a jinn. If you don't know what that is, it's a creature from folklore that's known to possess great power. It can either be good or evil. Think of the genie from Aladdin, but this time with free will and all the power in the world. Could be disastrous, right? Anyway, what do you guys think of it? What would your reaction be if you spotted Tinkerbell gracefully flying in your backyard? Well, the following footage was captured by a homeowner's security camera in their backyard. An insect initially appeared fluttering across the camera's field of view, but as the recording continued, it became evident that this was no ordinary insect. The peculiar creature exhibited human-like features, a distinct head, 2 arms, and a pair of legs reminiscent of a fairy minus the iconic pixie dust. The creature circled the camera lens almost as if it intentionally sought to be noticed before gracefully taking flight and disappearing into the surroundings. But wait a second, before we start believing that our backyard has become the secret gateway to enchanted worlds, let's hit the brakes on our imagination for a moment. As mesmerizing as it sounds, the magic might not be as real as we hope. Turns out that insect with human-like features was a masterful creation like a CGI wizardry trick that had us all reaching for our fairy-sized wands. At least that's what the logical guys said to us, the paranormal-believing sects. What do you think about this one? Could we be dealing with a real-life fairy, or are the logical guys right? This is all just CGI. Of course, we couldn't leave out a segment on Bigfoot, but this time, instead of presenting Bigfoot itself, we're bringing you evidence of its existence. Ready? Just watch. In the footage, individuals are seen stepping into unusually large tracks resembling a massive foot. And here's the twist. This wasn't just a photo-taking spree. These pictures were actually taken by individuals and submitted to the park ranger's office, believe it or not. These images originate from Canyonlands National Park, and if you're familiar with that area, you know it's not a place known for housing giants. Many individuals, including those who sent in the pictures, believe we are dealing with a Bigfoot. Can you really blame them? After all, how many creatures can you name that are large enough to have feet of that size and weight, leaving such deep imprints in the soil? None, I presume. So if it's not a Bigfoot, what do you think could have made those tracks? We all heard of the tragic fires that burnt down Chile not long ago. News coming from there now is that the residents are now painting their roofs and properties blue. Now you might be wondering what blue has to do with anything. This has to do with DEW, direct energy weapons. Some conspiracy theories suggest the fires might be a result of these mysterious weapons. They even connect the dots between the Chile fires and the blazes in Hawaii. They claim that these weapons can't detect the color blue, so by giving their homes a fresh coat, they're basically trying to stay one step ahead of potential disaster. Apparently, many billionaires and millionaires have their private homes in blue coatings. I don't know how true that is, and I refuse to investigate. I was afraid to know the truth. I didn't want to get involved in anything sketchy, but then again, what do you guys think? Now, this is a sweet twist on the concept of bee-friendly.
Bee-friendly, mi gente, miren la abeja. No lo puedo creer, no lo puedo creer.
Feast your eyes on this viral donut shop making waves on social media. What's all the buzz about? Well, it's not just about donuts, it's about bees carrying out their pollination process right inside the premises. Just take a peek at these industrious bees strolling on the sugary delights. It's a quirky fusion of the culinary and the natural world. Now, the big question: would you ever indulge in treats from such a place where bees are not just customers but pollination partners? What's your take on this unique approach to coexisting with nature? A bold venture, or perhaps a too close for comfort encounter with your baked goods? Now let's step into the realm of the unknown with a piece of footage from Mexico that's left folks scratching their heads. It started with a curious Facebook user sharing the video playing on your screen. It showcased a rather peculiar sight in the night sky. What we see here is a strangely shaped light bathed in an orange hue gently pulsing in the darkness. It's the kind of sight that instantly piques your curiosity. The best part? No one has managed to conjure up a reasonable explanation for what this enigmatic light might be. But wait, the intrigue doesn't stop there. In a truly jaw-dropping twist, this singular light seems to pull off a cloning act, duplicating itself in the sky. Yes, you heard that right. It's as if it's saying, one mystery light is not enough. Let's add another. What could this be? Could it be some sort of alien structure hovering above, or perhaps an as-yet unexplained natural phenomenon? Next, we have bizarre footage that was taken by a group of friends embarking on a hike through the Turkey Mountains. What they caught sight of has us spooked and scratching our heads. Take a look. There, in the fading light, a pair of eyes pop out of nowhere, glowing eerily in the twilight. When they focus in, they notice something rather peculiar. What appears to be a set of horns framing those glowing eyes. The horns are quite sizable and curved downward, creating a silhouette that reminds them of the beast from Beauty and the Beast. Now, the rational part of their mind suggests it could be a mountain sheep or a goat, which is not an unusual sight in these parts. But there's something about this creature that gives off an uncanny feeling. A shiver down the spine, if you may. Taking a second look at the creature, it definitely looks like it has a body that's humanoid. But how's that even possible? The paranormal community has been divisive about its identity since the footage was shared, but many lean towards the possibility of it being a skinwalker. What say you? Next, we have another mysterious sighting in the air. This time, it's a horizontal-looking object gliding over the woodlands of Colombia. It's the classic story of an unidentified flying object reigniting the age-old question: could it be an alien spacecraft or maybe some otherworldly device? The possibilities are as vast as the starry skies. What do you think of this horizontal marvel? My mind thinks it looks like a frisbee, but the paranormal community says it's extraterrestrial. So let's hear your opinions as well. What do you think we're looking at? Next, you might want to take a look at this strange encounter. As you can see from the clip, someone was burning something when out of nowhere the flames flared up and a bizarre fiery figure took shape. The woman who was standing by the blazing spectacle and the person behind the camera both took a hasty step back, and looking at it, I would have rushed out of the place. But knowing me, I would have returned as well to find out what it was. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it could be? Some in the paranormal community believe this could be a modern-day encounter with a fire demon. According to Aaron, that's most likely the case. But what about you? What do you think is going on here? And for our final clip of the day, we thought we'd leave you with something fascinating. Ready? Enjoy. This fascinating piece of footage is from Uganda and was taken back in 2018. The video brought to light a truly remarkable sight: a massive cow with not one, not two, but three enormous horns perched atop its head. It's the kind of thing that might remind you of a creature from a fantasy movie, something right out of a fairy tale. But here's the catch: this isn't a fictional creation. These cows are indeed a real species found in Uganda, known for growing exceptionally large and thick horns like the one in the video. This particular cow with its trio of horns is something of a rarity, a unique individual among its bovine peers. Just take a moment to appreciate the sheer size of this magnificent creature. It's a testament to the diversity and wonder of the animal kingdom. Ever witnessed land pulling off some bizarre moves like this? It's almost like watching a whale breach the ocean's surface for a gulp of air, but on dry land. So what's the scoop here? Could there be some elusive creature lurking beneath the earth trying to break free? Now hold your sea monsters and giant earthworms, because as thrilling as that would be, or terrifying depending on your perspective, that's not exactly the deal here. In reality, we're in the land of mystery. No one can say for sure what's causing this jaw-dropping phenomenon. Some folks toss out the idea that it might be the Earth's tectonic plates getting restless and shifting, causing this peculiar rise. Others have a different take, suggesting that perhaps gas is making a sneaky escape from the depths, creating these unusual land surges. They even point to the bubbles in the water as evidence. But here's the kicker. While these theories might sound pretty sensible, they're still in the yet-to-be-proven camp. So don't pack up your monster hunting gear just yet. Could there be a colossal creature on the move beneath the soil? Who knows? Or maybe I'm just being a tad too jittery. If you got some wild guesses or a solid hypothesis, drop them in the comment section below. Well, here's a head-scratcher that takes us to the skies. A humanoid figure draped in a long white robe, arms outstretched, floating in the great expanse above. Now that's definitely not your everyday sighting. When it comes to mysterious figures in the sky, the usual suspects are aliens or, of course, a well-planned hoax. But when it comes to this, even the skeptics are throwing a curveball into the mix. They suggest that this could be a blue beam projection. For those new to the channel, blue beam projections refer to a concept rooted in conspiracy theories that stipulate that governments and other powerful individuals or institutions are using advanced technology to create holographic illusions in the sky, often for deceptive or manipulative purposes. Proponents of this theory suggest that such projections could be used to simulate supernatural or extraterrestrial events, leading to widespread confusion and speculation such as this footage here. It's a stretch, I know, but think about it. Once you've done that, please share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to know what you think. Now, the next one is a tale that takes us to the Black Sea, where curious tourists in 2023 stumbled upon a strange sight. They captured footage of not one, but 2 or 3 mysterious beings in the water that resembled none other than the legendary Loch Ness Monster. These creatures had a distinctive small head and long necks, features that resembled the said creature. For those not familiar with it, the Loch Ness Monster was reportedly first seen in modern times in the year 1933. Since then, there have been many alleged sightings of the creature from all over the world with images. This one is no different, but do you think this will be the very first one that leads to the creature? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next, we have this peculiar-looking creature that was sighted near a village pilfering food. It appears to have a skin disease and a lengthy tail with some degree of hair. In a world where mysterious creatures seem to be making a comeback, our minds naturally start to wonder. Could this be one of those unexplainable enigmas that have slipped through the cracks of conventional understanding? As each Trailcam and village sighting reveals new surprises, it's difficult not to consider that this creature could be more than it seems. But if there's more to it, what could that more possibly entail? Is it a mutated creature? A sick one? A paranormal being? Alien? But hold on, did I just mention aliens? Maybe I'm getting carried away, but you catch my drift. What do you think we're dealing with here? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd love to hear it. In the heart of the woods, firmly attached to a tree during a mission, 2 men are about to find themselves face to face with a black bear. Reviewing the footage captured by one of the tree climbers, we observed 2 black bears scampering up a tall tree as if fleeing for their lives. Meanwhile, 2 explorers are securely fastened to the tree, calmly watching the spectacle unfold. One bear ventures remarkably close to the man, while the other secures a presumably safe position. The curiosity of the first bear is evident as it tries to comprehend how these humans approached in the tree without adopting a similar awkward stance. The man closest to the camera appears unperturbed by the black bear's presence, even sharing a momentary giggle as the bear reaches their level. However, the second explorer displays discomfort and seems poised to leap should the bear make a move. Before long, the black bear begins its descent, prompting audible sighs of relief from the 2 men. I guess not all bears are rowdy. Some like to keep a clean slate and make a good first impression. Or basically, it's a cub and was only curious. In such situations, the danger will be the mum, and it appears these hunters knew. Kudos to them for keeping their cool. How would you have handled being put in such a position in your life? Next, we visit Uganda to experience the mystery of the northern and southern hemispheres. This clip was recorded by some individuals at a tourist destination in Uganda. People come here to experience the differences in 2 hemispheres. First, they stand at the northern side and pour water into this strange funnel thing and then put a flower in it. Once they do that, the flower rotates clockwise, but when they cross over to the southern hemisphere and do the same thing, the flower rotates anti-clockwise. This simple experiment, if we can call it that, demonstrates how our planet's rotation affects things. Julius says it's called the Coriolis effect. I'm not a science whiz, so can someone tell me if he's telling the truth or not? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. This snowboarder was filming after he'd fallen off his board when all of a sudden, this happened. A strange object flew over his head. It was so fast you almost wouldn't notice it, but with the slowdown of the footage we're able to make it out. It's a flying disc that looks like a saucer. Could it be one of those famed alien crafts, the kind often whispered about in extraterrestrial tales, or is there a more grounded explanation, such as it being a human-made drone simply cruising through the wintry air? Some skeptics say that it's all just movie magic, edited to make us guessing. But what do you think? A hoax or real-life alien craft? My money is on the hoax part, but I'd love to hear you too. Just a quick reminder before our next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Sasquatch after you now, would you? An unusual bit of footage. The footage immediately brings to mind Zootopia. Let's watch. A humanoid white rabbit is captured standing directly in front of the camera, donning a white top. Although Zootopia is a work of animation and far from reality, this trail camera image nudges the thought that humanoid animals might be concealed in the shadows. As enchanting as it is to imagine a world where rabbits stroll around in stylish attire, we're dealing with a simple truth here. This isn't a fantastical humanoid creature. No magic here, just some good old-fashioned costume fun. It's all in the name of imagination. A clever someone decided to don a rabbit costume and give us all a chuckle. We're sure the costume's individual noticed the trail camera and wanted to mess around with its owner. But you and I are much more intelligent than that. We know there's nothing magical or paranormal happening here as much as we'd love that. What would you have done if you were the owner? This unsuspecting moose was peacefully going about its business at night when a pair of luminous eyes suddenly manifested behind it. The eyes emit an eerie glow from the trees situated behind the moose. The trail camera's owner, who captured this footage, was genuinely intrigued and utterly baffled by the sudden appearance of those eyes. Considering their significant size, it's rather uncommon for any animal to stalk a moose. The primary predators of moose, such as wolves and grizzly bears, typically target moose calves due to the substantial effort required to bring down an adult moose. This further deepens the mystery and leaves us with a myriad of unanswered questions. Who do those eyes belong to? Could we be dealing with bears or perhaps wolves? While these explanations might seem logical, the paranormal community begs to differ. In fact, many in the community are swaying toward the intriguing possibility of the creature being a Bigfoot. What are your thoughts, though? If our next clip proves anything, it's that the pace of technological advancement can sometimes leave us wide-eyed, or in this case, possibly red-eyed. In this extraordinary scenario, this man has a smart eye lens on with a charger discreetly positioned on his eyelid, which is also connected to another device on his temple. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, isn't it? Before you think of getting yourself one, take a good look at his eye. Just look how red his eye is. It leaves us wondering if this is even safe to use at all. Now, it seems we're not just inseparable from our gadgets, they're actually becoming a part of us. How do the rapid advancements in tech make you feel? Do you think we're improving the quality of our lives, or do you think that we're headed on a path of irreversible self-destruction? Share your thoughts. Back in 2005, a company driver decided to take a leisurely walk through the woodlands of Quebec, Canada. As he was walking through, he came across these beautiful waters in the middle of the forest below. He decided to take a few pictures and some videos. After he retired home to review the footage, it was then that he saw a strange creature looking up at him. The creature was standing behind some bushes on the right side of the image. Do you see it? Initially, he thought it was a Bigfoot, but this one looked very different. It was bipedal and about 6 to 8 feet tall. It had a dog-like face, unlike a Bigfoot, and had a longer snout. The head of the creature was triangular with silver hair on it going all the way to its shoulder, but the rest of its body hair was black. The creature was also holding a white-furred animal in its hand that looked like a dog, and its face had a red stain on it. So our guess is that this creature was munching on this dog. What creature are we looking at here, though? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a dog man. Looking at it, I don't blame them for thinking so. You have seen it too, so what are your thoughts? This video was taken deep in the heart of the Indonesian forest. In the frame, you can see something rather peculiar. A woman dressed in white robes standing by a tree and gazing directly into the camera. It's the kind of scene that might make you think twice before venturing into the woods alone. Some local folks suggest she might be a witch or a spirit. Watching the footage, I can understand where they are coming from. I mean, it does look like it could definitely fit the bill. When you consider the fact that the locals have folklore of a witch that fits the exact description we see in the footage, then you know that they're definitely onto something. This adds a layer of intrigue to the story. Now, when it comes to mysterious encounters like these, there are always skeptics offering various explanations. But as is often the case, the true mystery behind this footage remains unsolved, leaving us with questions and room for speculation. I really believe there's something paranormal about that strange-looking woman. What about you? The mysteries that trail cams unveil never cease to amaze. Take this unusual capture, for instance. In the frame, we see a creature that defies easy explanation. It's a bit like a riddle wrapped in an enigma. At first glance, this creature might remind you of a tiny zebra, and it's standing upright, which is rather uncommon in the animal kingdom. The creature captured by the cam is adorned with zebra-like stripes, and its hands and legs appear surprisingly human. When it comes to the head, however, the image is a bit blurry, making it challenging to discern. Taking a second, third, and fourth look at the image, I started to doubt its authenticity. I'm no CGI expert, but this looks computer-generated. Could someone be trying to throw us off using something like this, or are we dealing with something that's so bizarre it looks fake? Personally, I'm tempted to lean towards it being CGI, but then again, the world you and I live in is a strange one. Anything's possible. What do you personally think, though? Someone found this strange-looking sea snake in the waters and brought it home. The snake has these strange green things on its skin. They look like fur or hair of some sort, but aren't snakes supposed to have scales? Well, there's a hypothesis. Some believe these are sea snakes. Yes, they're sea snakes, and they're known to spend a significant amount of time submerged in water. The hypothesis is that algae or other marine organisms can attach themselves to their bodies. Seaweed and other plant-like organisms are believed to be able to provide camouflage by blending the snake's appearance with its surroundings. It's believed that's what we're seeing here. If this is the case, the belief is that it's supposed to make it less conspicuous to predators or prey. Additionally, this type of symbiotic relationship can offer protection by potentially deterring predators that may mistake the snake for something unpalatable. Unless, of course, they love salads. What do you think? This terrifying footage from Russia allegedly shows us the moment a meteorite struck Earth in 2013. As you can see, as cars are going back and forth, there was a huge flash in the sky. The 2013 Chelyabinsk meteor event made people more aware of the dangers associated with objects from space coming into Earth's atmosphere. I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near any of these when they crash. I'd definitely love to live a bit longer. The wonders of trail cameras, capturing candid moments of the natural world's inhabitants in their element. Now, in this particular snapshot, we find ourselves amidst a family gathering of Mastelidae. That's the scientific term encompassing the marvelous world of weasels, otters, badgers, martens, and their kin, all carnivorous animals with a taste for adventure. In this image, 5 of these little critters have gathered around the trail cam, their eyes aglow, likely due to the camera's flash. It's a charming sight, but it's also a bit of a puzzle. They look like they're distracted by something to the left side, a glow of unknown and perhaps alien origin. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know we take our orbs seriously because they typically mean supernatural or paranormal activity. But what could this glowing light caught in the capture mean? Is it also spiritual, or are we dealing with an alien entity here? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In this video clip, we catch a glimpse of a towering yet incomplete tree. Only half of it is visible. As we admire the tree, the scenery, and the setting sun, something extraordinary unfolds, a humanoid figure floating in thin air. This person appears carefree, as if attempting to break Jesus' walking on water record. Whatever the case, the man, or whatever it is that's being filmed, levitates for a while before disappearing behind one of the houses. It may not be Jesus Christ, but you have to wonder, what did we just see? Are there powerful beings amongst us? Does he live in the community and is simply returning home from doing superhero stuff in secret? It's hard to say, but this whole thing is just bizarre and weird. What do you make of it? Talk about blending nature with the digital age. Check out this beetle. It's not your ordinary everyday insect. No, this is an electronic masterpiece. Imagine these robotic insects made of cameras and microphones weaving their way into places we'd never suspect. Guess what they could be used for? Spying and planting chaos everywhere. While some argue it's just an art piece, the unsettling truth lingers. If artists can do this, then what about tech experts and scientists? Surely with the advancements we've made in microchips, something like this is possible, yes? Either way, it reminds me of Spy Kids. What about you? Conspiracies about celebrities being reptilians have existed for millennia. In this clip, we see a little girl interacting with Elvis Presley when suddenly she looks seriously at his face. Upon closer inspection, one may notice that one eye looks bigger than the other, almost as if it's morphing or molting. What makes this situation suspicious is that a man comes and blocks his face from the camera and another guy touches his eye. The very one that looks weird. What do you really think is happening? Was he shape-shifting, or was there something else at play here? If only we could find that little girl and ask. This image was captured on a Trailcam. This enigmatic being sports a multitude of legs reminiscent of a spider's delicate dance. The upper half, rich brown, contrasts dramatically with the lower half, which is a striking shade of blue. It's like the universe decided to throw together a cosmic mashup of creature features, combining octopus elegance with spider-like intrigue. And the plot thickens. It's not just the color palette that's raising eyebrows, it's the sheer otherworldly nature of it all. Now, before we start packing our bags for the first contact meeting with our new alien neighbors, let's take a deep breath and step back into the realm of the plausible. As much as we want to believe in extraterrestrial creatures or a land-loving octo-spider, we might be dealing with something a bit more down-to-earth. Some in the paranormal community considered the possibility of a new species, yet undiscovered by science, slipping through the cracks of our understanding. Nature, after all, is full of surprises, but we don't think that this is one. We actually think this might be a CGI or AI creation. But that's just us. What do you think? I know I've already used the word today, but this next footage is the actual definition of the word. Just have a look. What we have here is an utterly bizarre sight, a peculiar object dangling from a forest branch. It resembles a skin-like pouch of sorts. As though the sight of that thing was odd enough, a head peers out of it. While we may be tempted to unravel the riddles of the natural world, one thing's for certain. This peculiar creature doesn't quite fit the mold of a domestic companion. In fact, it doesn't fit that of a wild animal at all. I know you, our audience, have a keen eye for detail when it comes to animals, and I believe that you could perhaps help decode what's happening here. Looking at the image again, a part of me doesn't feel that the creature in person is alive. I mean, look at those eyes. They don't blink, nor do they look like they have life in them. Perhaps it's just my ignorance and skepticism at play. So I look to you, sirs and Moss. What do you think we are dealing with here? Please enlighten us. We'd really like to know. A Trailcam owner came across this strange image on his device. Take a look. At first glance, he couldn't make out what it was until he enhanced the footage. Once it was enhanced, it appeared to have captured a large creature walking through the dark. The creature was about 7 feet tall. It fits the classic description of a Bigfoot. All who saw the footage in the paranormal community believed it had to be a Bigfoot. My team thinks so too. Personally, well, I don't know. There's something off and I just can't put my finger on it. What do you think we're dealing with here? Nature's heartwarming moments. Take a moment to soak in the beauty as a generous monkey shares its apple with a tortoise. It's like a scene straight out of a harmonious jungle tale. There's something profoundly beautiful about witnessing different creatures showing kindness and sharing in their unique way. Don't you agree? I don't remember the last time someone shared their apple with me. Well. Our next footage features 2 teenagers embarking on a nighttime adventure into the woods. During their journey, they stumble upon a white eye mask, an unusual find they couldn't resist picking up. Unfazed, they journeyed deeper into the forest, only to stumble upon another mask. This time, it was a full-face white mask suspended from a tree branch. Now, if it were me, I might have questioned the wisdom of continuing that midnight expedition, but not these brave souls. They pressed on, delving further into the woods. Suddenly, as if conjured from thin air, another mask materializes from the underbrush, sending icy shivers down their spines and forcing them to flee. But this mask was different. It bore an eerie resemblance to someone wearing it, yet the all-encompassing darkness made confirming their sight an elusive challenge. Let's ponder the possibilities now, shall we? Could this be the work of a mischievous forest spirit playing tricks on unsuspecting wanderers? Or maybe it's the lingering spirit of a victim from a long-forgotten woods ritual stirred by the eerie glow of the moon? It's a puzzle, but within the paranormal community, a sense of mystery and unease has taken root, suggesting something odd and unsettling might be at play in those woods. However, we find it a bit hard to swallow. While we're all about the paranormal and eerie, this video does seem a tad fabricated, yet there's always room for doubt, isn't there? What do you think is going on here, though? Explorers often willingly take unnecessary risks in pursuit of capturing diverse footage, even though animals don't have cameras like us. I'm convinced they share our curiosity. They encounter things in the woods, whether it's during the day or night. An example is found in this intriguing video clip recorded deep within the woods under the cloak of night by a trusty Trailcam. And here it is right before us, a magnificent grizzly bear circling the very tree that holds our Trailcam. Just as you assume the bear is engrossed in its affairs, maybe hunting for a midnight treat, it surprises us all. With a sudden leap, it pounces on the camera, swiftly sending it crashing down and giving it quite the rough ride. Seems like the culprit was none other than the camera's alluring red light, a temptation that proved irresistible to the bear. Bears boast intellect and curiosity. They're skilled at exploring scents, sounds, and, believe it or not, objects too, to evaluate their potential for play or even consumption. In this instance, it seems the camera didn't capture its attention for the playful encounter. Instead, it perceived the camera as a threat and lunged at it. A display of how unpredictable these animals can be. Like we always say here, make sure you keep a safe distance when you meet these majestic beasts, no matter how tempting it is to walk up for them for a hug. The Lockheed CL-1201 was a proposed high-speed aircraft developed by Lockheed in the 1960s. It was developed to be a supersonic transport capable of carrying about 250 passengers at speeds faster than Mach 2. Comparing it to a famous building, the wingspan of the CL-1201 would be comparable to the height of the Statue of Liberty, while its length would be equivalent to about 2/3 the length of a football field. The design included a delta wing and 4 engines with a focus on transatlantic flights. Unfortunately, the project didn't advance beyond the concept stage due to various challenges in the US government's decision against developing a supersonic transport. Today, the CL-1201 serves as a historical example of attempts in the 20th century to create practical supersonic commercial aeroplanes. What do you think of it? Is it something you would love to sit in? Tell us in the comments section. We travel back in time to the Canadian mountains in the year 2020. If you are wondering what makes this mountain special, it's simple. A gondola came crashing down the mountain. The incident shook everyone given how neatly its cables were cut. Just in case you didn't know, such cables are typically made of thick steel, and that will require a lot of effort to cut through. Not to talk about the noise and the fact that at least 3 men are needed to do it successfully in at least 15 minutes. Here's the thing though, the security saw and heard nothing. How were they cut then? Well, no one knows. This man suggests that the culprit might be none other than the elusive Sasquatch. Why? Because according to him, no human could pull off such a risky feat without getting caught. After the incident, security was beefed up and they even had thermal cameras. But after spending millions to fix the cable and upgrade the security, the incident repeated again, with no culprit caught. The only difference was this time they captured footage of a massive creature roughly 8 to 9 feet tall. There are not a lot of humans that fit this bill. Could it be the work of a Sasquatch, as the man says, or is there a more ominous reason? Share your thoughts. Now let's take a look at some rather bizarre footage from India. In this clip, there was a mysterious woman perched atop a tree, and the whole situation is nothing short of perplexing. No one seems to know who she is or how she managed to get up there. What even makes it more intriguing is the fact that the branches of the tree look rather feeble, clearly not designed to hold a person's weight. Yet there she stands without a bother or care in the world. If that doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me and the locals who live there. In what isn't an isolated incident, there's another piece of footage showing her in a similar tree-bound situation. According to the neighbors, she's something of a regular presence in the area. She spends long hours dancing and praying on these trees, usually in the mornings. But who could this woman possibly be? Is she some kind of deity, a mystical figure, or perhaps someone with unique powers? Well, the truth remains elusive, and it's yet another reminder that our world is filled with mysteries that defy easy explanations. In this particular picture, taken deep in the woods, there's something rather out of the ordinary. It's a creature, and it's quite sizable, enough to make you wonder, could this be a Bigfoot? Bigfoot, of course, is a regular player in the world of cryptid sightings. But here's where it gets interesting. In the realm of unexplained phenomena, there's the occasional possibility of staged Bigfoot sightings, perhaps for the sheer fun of it. It adds a layer of uncertainty to the mix, so that brings us to the big question. Is this creature the real deal, an actual Bigfoot, or just someone having a bit of fun in a costume? Tell us what you think. In Mexico, there's a famous entity known as La Llorona. This spirit of a woman is mostly seen weeping, and when people hear ominous cries at night, they often believe it's La Llorona. However, in this footage, a man encountered something entirely different.
Aquí anda algo. No mames, miren esa madresota. No mames. ¿Quién eres, güey? No mames, ¿quién eres? Ay, hijo de su puta madre. No mames.
At first, he heard strange sounds like a woman weeping and whimpering, but couldn't see what it was. He kept calling out to it, trying to locate the source of the eerie cries. Suddenly, emerging from the dark was a huge dark figure crawling toward him. Terrified, the man ran out of there as fast as he could. The question remains, what did he encounter? While the wailing matched the traditional description, the appearance of the large crawling figure deviates from the typical ghostly image. What do you think this dark figure could be?
No mames, miren esa madresota. No mames. ¿Quién eres, güey? No mames, ¿quién eres? Ay, capaz, hijo de su puta.
There are stories of creatures that make strange sounds to lure people toward them, only to attack or capture them. One such creature known for this behavior is the skinwalker. Apart from their ability to shapeshift, skinwalkers are said to use eerie sounds to draw people in. Take this footage, for instance. Someone was out one night when they began hearing a strange noise. It sounded like some sort of gurgling or choking sound. Yet as they looked ahead toward where the sound was coming from, there was no one and nothing in sight. The person scanned the area with their camera, but the source of the noise was nowhere in sight. The footage ends without revealing the source of the sound, leaving viewers to speculate. Some believe it was a genuine skinwalker encounter, citing the creature's notorious reputation for using sound to disorient and trap its victims. Others suggested it might have been an animal or even a clever hoax. As intriguing as these sound, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think of everything? Take a look at what some believe to be the North American great ape. This footage was captured in a lush green forest. In the forest stands a tall ape-like creature with brown fur and an angry expression, charging towards something that has clearly provoked it. It appears to be stumbling, mouth wide open, as if anticipating a moment of violence and perhaps secretly wishing for a supernatural escape. It's hard to tell what was going through its mind, but that's one big ape with surprisingly human features. What's more, it's moving like a human would. I don't know about you, but I'm leaning toward the possibility of this being a Bigfoot. What thinkest thou? And now here's a true mystery to ponder. In this image, we see what looks like the back of a creature. Can you identify it? Do you know its name and species? Do you know any rare facts about it? If you do, then your task is simple. Name what it is, give us a rare fact about, and we'll review it. If you're indeed right, your name shall be immortalized among the few names of individuals on this channel who have succeeded in identifying our bonus content. When writing out your answer, start with bonus footage so we easily identify it among the comments. The answer with the most accurate description with the most convincing reason will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Stepping away from the strange, I've got something fascinating for you. Take a good look. In the clip, you can see what looks like a jellyfish moving gracefully through the water. Its bell has beautiful detailed patterns, and its long flowing tentacles drift behind. While these tentacles can sting, they also highlight the stunning beauty and fascinating complexity of the jellyfish. This creature is known as a Chirodectus. Chirodectus is a rare and mesmerizing species of box jellyfish discovered in the mysterious depths of the ocean. Unlike many other jellyfish, Chirodectus exhibit unique and captivating features. Its translucent body and pulsating movements give it an almost otherworldly appearance. Seeing the Chirodectus jellyfish showcases the amazing variety of life in the deep sea, a realm that's still largely unexplored and full of mysteries. The ocean's depths are teeming with countless undiscovered species, each with its own unique way of surviving and adapting to the harsh conditions. I know I've said it before, but it's a wonderful world, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It sounds like a goat is dying.
What in the heck?
We have mentioned time and time again how fruits are becoming strange on the market. This family allegedly bought a seedless watermelon from Walmart, and whilst cutting through it, it made strange sounds. pay attention.
It sounds like a goat is dying.
What in the heck?
You heard that right. It's strange and very unnatural. For some reason, however, we keep coming across more of such fruit clips, which has left the team worried. We feel like it's our responsibility to warn you guys, so please be careful out there.
We bought like an acid ball watermelon.
Ew. It doesn't smell good. Oh my gosh.
That thing was fizzing and popping.
Still on Bigfoot, let's dive into another piece of evidence in the ongoing quest to uncover the elusive Bigfoot. In this particular image, although it's not crystal clear, you can still make out some intriguing details. Here we have what appears to be a brown-furred Bigfoot standing tall in all its colossal splendor. The creature seems to be gazing downward, and there's even what looks like a sizable rock near its leg. Now, when it comes to Bigfoot, there have been countless images and videos, with some turning out to be hoaxes. But this image, well, it does seem to have an air of authenticity, doesn't it? It's one of those instances where it's tough to brush it off as just a person in a costume. Picture this. You're out in the woods enjoying a peaceful nap among the trees when something stirs in the leaves nearby. Your curiosity piqued, you turn to investigate, and what you see takes your breath away. Now stop imagining and pay attention to the footage. There, amidst the towering trees, stands a massive figure. It's as tall as the trees themselves and covered in dark brown fur, which allows it to blend in seamlessly with the forest. Seeing a creature that big lurking around the same location you are in and being aware of the fact that you're in the forest alone with it is a sight that could make your heart skip a beat. The uploader felt no different and decided to record what he was seeing. A lot of things raced through his mind as he did. Perhaps, if he didn't live, this could serve as evidence of what had taken his life, and if he lived, he'd have evidence to show the rest of the world how dangerous that part of the woods is. Watching the footage now, we're glad he recorded, but just what is it? You don't have to be a paranormal expert to know that that's definitely a Bigfoot. Which are the creatures that tall with a human-like gait and fur all over it? It's definitely a Bigfoot. What do you think? In recent years, sightings of unidentified flying objects, aliens, and strange orbs in the sky have become more frequent. It's become so common that people are no longer sure what to think when they witness them.
Look! Look at my phone. Look at her moving orbs. Look at this. There's fucking aliens. That's not fucking normal. That was the moon. What's happening?
Recently, a man captured footage of a peculiarly shaped glowing object in the sky that appeared after the moon disappeared from the night sky. The video shows the man sounding frightened and a woman in the background trying to reassure him that the object was just a tree covering the moon. The man who captured the video claimed that the object was not like anything he'd ever seen before. He described it as being oddly shaped and glowing with an intense light. His voice in the video suggests he was genuinely scared and unsure of what he was witnessing.
No, there's nothing fucking in it. I've seen this shit before in my life.
Okay, but on there it's not. But if you look over here, look, you can barely see it. Is that the tree branch? Is that actually?
No.
Wait, I see it. Look. There's a big fucking ton of them. You can see it.
It's not. It's. The moon just fucking disappeared.
However, the woman in the background of the video tried to explain to him that it was just a tree covering the moon and not an alien spacecraft. Who do you think is in the right here?
No, this is... I know exactly what's happening because... No, something weird's happening.
Bigfoots are cryptid creatures that have been a topic of interest amongst the paranormal community for decades.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley. What the? Dude, that's not a freaking bear. Dude, that's not a freaking bear. Dude.
In this particular video footage, a couple was spending time in the woods, having fun, and capturing videos of their experience. Suddenly, they noticed something moving among the trees ahead of them. At first, they assumed it was a bear, but as they continued observing, they realized that it was walking upright on two legs like a human and using its arms to push branches out of the way as it walked. The creature was covered in thick, matted hair which appeared to be dark brown color. Its face was obscured, making it difficult to determine any identifiable features. The couple was understandably startled and frightened by the encounter and immediately took off running in the opposite direction. Upon watching the footage, many within the paranormal community believed that it matches the description of a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. However, there are still others who remain skeptical. Regardless, this encounter is just one of many that continue to fuel the fascination and mystery surrounding these elusive creatures.
Haley, wait. That's a bear. Haley, that's a bear. Haley.
Our next clip was taken by a security camera which may have captured two crimes. Take a look. So here's the deal. The security camera picked up a man strolling away with a child who was throwing a pretty serious tantrum. Meanwhile, approaching from the other direction was a woman holding a bag. As she gets closer, things took a bit of an unexpected turn. You see, the handle of her bag slipped and its contents spilled right onto the ground. Now here's where it gets interesting. The color of the footage gives everything a rather suspicious tint. You might even think there's blood on the ground, and that strange man with the upset child, well, he starts to look like he could be up to no good, possibly involved in some sort of kidnapping, right? In fact, all who saw the footage thought the same thing. But here's where it takes a twist. After some investigation in the neighborhood, it turns out that things are not what they seem. That man, he's the child's father, and the tantrum, just a case of a little one having a tough day. And as for the lady with the bag, she's not a serial killer. No, she was simply carrying some oil that accidentally spilled. So don't worry, no crimes were committed here. It's a good reminder that appearances can sometimes be quite deceiving, and what we initially see on security cameras might not always be the full story. You start watching this video and at first you only see one person on the camera. In the background, in the darkness, you spot some freaky stuff going on. Objects seem to be floating in the air and it's enough to give you goosebumps. But wait, when you take a closer look, you realize these things are actually dolls of different skin colors hanging by a thread. There's one with dark skin and the others are white. Creepy, right? If you follow this channel, you know that sometimes the spirits and demons are trapped in dolls like this and left out the way you were seeing. Could this whole area be made up of dolls with demons trapped in them? It's hard to tell. Even the one filming doesn't know what's happening, but he does state that there was an eerie presence. He even felt one of those dolls tell him to leave. When it got overwhelming, he left to return with someone else to investigate another time. What do you think of the whole thing? Would you explore an area like this, or would you avoid it like the plague? Because, well, I know I would. The AI revolution is here, and no one is safe, not even artists.
AI created music.
Now, Julia, you are like the sun.
Have you heard about the new feature on YouTube Shorts? It's pretty incredible. Users can now create any song they want using the voices of their favorite artists. Imagine remixing a classic tune or creating an entirely new track with the vocals of top musicians. This feature opens up a world of creative possibilities for aspiring musicians and content creators alike. You can experiment with different genres, mix various artists' voices, and produce unique music videos. It's like having a virtual studio at your fingertips. Not only does this bring fun, interactive element to YouTube Shorts, but it also allows fans to engage with their favorite artists in a completely new way. Whether you're a seasoned musician or just someone who loves to play around with music, this feature is something for everyone. While this must be exciting for the fans, you have to wonder, how will the actual artists feel? It's almost impossible for them to sue since this is being developed in conjunction with the major studios out there. In other words, artists don't have much of a say. Am I the only one who finds this innovation sad? Anyway, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.
Drinking tequila, hanging with my friends. Yeah, AI is crazy, bro. I got 1,000 people watching me. Bro, I ain't made a song like this in years.
I haven't said this before, but this time I need to. Whatever you do, do not try what you are about to see in this clip at home.
Yeah, that might be it. Hey, we got it.
Try it again.
No way! No way!
In the clip, you can see two cars with two men standing between them. Both men have one hand on a car battery and their free hand holding each other. One man stands on the ground while the other leans on one car with his feet propped up on another. Miraculously, the car starts without using jumper cables. A commenter who claimed to be an auto tech with almost 15 years of experience shared his insight. As an auto tech of almost 15 years, I'd say it is plausible given the guy in the vehicle jumping the other car has himself grounded to both cars. The other guy holding his hand is on the actual ground. They have completed the circuit like jumper cables would. Some sketchy stuff, but it's possible. So is this the case here? Can humans really complete an electrical circuit to jumpstart a car? Well, as you would expect, there was an ongoing war in the comments section. Some thought it was possible, with the only catch being the electricity going through their bodies was bad for their hearts. Others simply thought it was ludicrous. They thought the clip might have been edited or that the car didn't really need to be jump-started. This is out of my expertise, and Julius, our science whiz, only laughs when I ask if this is possible. So in times like this, I turn to you all who are experts in this field with a humble heart and puppy eyes. Could you please tell us all if this is possible, as we'd really love to learn from you.
No way! No way!
Imagine taking an evening stroll to unwind after a long day's work. Suddenly you feel eyes on you, prompting you to look around to ensure you're not imagining things. That's exactly what you see in the clip you're watching. The video clip was captured by a man, as evident from the voice we hear. It was taken in the dead of night, making it challenging to determine his exact location while recording. In the midst of this, a pair of glowing eyes can be seen in the far distance, staring right back at him. I can't help but wonder what creature they belong to and what this creature might be planning. It appears to be patient, waiting for the man to slip up so it could launch a sneak attack. Thankfully, the man remained alert the whole time and made it to safety. But you have to wonder, what was that creature? Is it an apex predator in the woods the man was exploring, or could the man have encountered a supernatural being and been merely lucky to have made it out alive? Share your thoughts with us. If you've experienced something similar, don't forget to let us know as well. If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot and allows us to create more content like this. Has your dashboard cam ever captured something that left you stupefied? Stupefied. Yep, I think that's the word. By stupefied, I mean so surprised that you're just tongue-tied. Well, the next footage is sure to leave you feeling like that. Take a look. Did you see that? This dashcam footage was taken by an unknown driver traveling along a highway lined with trees, with a tall mountain in the distance. A few seconds into the recording, a small figure could be seen attempting to cross the road. What is that? Ever seen anything like it? If you answered no, you won't be alone, because the truth is we haven't either. And despite our thorough research process, we couldn't find anything from our paranormal archives. We've never even thought something like that existed in the first place. Many in the paranormal community who saw the footage wondered the same, and while some thought it was a paranormal creature, others thought we could be dealing with something alien. Some even believed it was a glitch in the Matrix. While those seem plausible, allow me to introduce the supernatural. Have you considered the fact that this could be a spirit or demonic entity? Does that seem like too much of a stretch, or do you also think we're actually dealing with something of that nature? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as I'd really love to hear them.
Hi there! Oh my goodness!
Behold the Dobson fly. With its long antennas on its head and wings with intricate patterns, it almost looks like a delicate dancer as it rotates on the girl's palm.
Oh, look at the baby. Oh, she's doing the spins. She's doing the spins.
The Dobson fly is known for its striking appearance and mesmerizing movements. These insects are large with impressive wingspans and antennae that help them navigate their environment. They're agile too, capable of delicate rotations that add to their captivating charm. In its larvae stage, the Dobson fly lives underwater, feeding on other aquatic creatures. As adults, they emerge to feed on nectar and are often seen near bodies of water where they lay their eggs. Despite their imposing appearance, Dobson flies are harmless to humans and play an important role in their ecosystems. Cool, huh?
Oh, she's doing the spins. She's doing the spins. Hi. Hi there.
Walk to the end of this tunnel, see what's back here.
If you searched hard enough on your next visit to Los Angeles, you're sure to find an extensive network of abandoned tunnels that were used to secretly transport alcohol and other goods. There are an estimated 91 tunnels crisscrossing beneath the city that were originally constructed during the Prohibition era for the purpose of secret goods transport. Over the years, the tunnels have served various purposes beyond their initial use. They've been utilized for transportation, connecting key parts of the city, and providing passageways for utility conduits. These tunnels are a significant, albeit hidden, part of Los Angeles infrastructure. Today, many of these tunnels are inaccessible, either sealed off or restricted to the public. Despite this, they remain a fascinating element of the city's history, a testament to its adaptive and clandestine past. The stories and legends surrounding these tunnels continue to intrigue both locals and visitors, preserving their legacy as a mysterious and integral component of Los Angeles. A part of me wants to investigate these tunnels, but who knows what we'll find down there. That's without considering the laws we'll be breaking. Has any of you seen these tunnels? Any stories to share? Next, we have footage from a TikTok user who claims to have a pretty wild encounter with what they believe was a Yeti. Now, if you're not familiar, Yetis are like the snowy cousins of Bigfoots, often associated with the remote corners of Asia and sporting that signature snow-white fur. Let's take a look. Our brave adventurer and his friend decided to take a little nighttime foray into the woods. You know, the kind of thing you do when you're up for a bit of mystery. As they're poking around in the dark, they suddenly hear this strange and eerie noise that sends shivers down their spines. Naturally, they swing their camera in the direction of the sound, ready for a good old investigation. What they find in the glow of their camera's light is pretty darn mysterious. There's this creature, and its face seems to have the kind of fur you'd associate with a Yeti. But here's the kicker. The rest of the creature's features are lost in the darkness. It's like they're playing a game of hide-and-seek with the shadows. Now, as you'd expect, once this mysterious critter realizes it's being discovered, it pulls a vanishing act and melts back into the night. So here's the million-dollar question. Did this fearless duo truly cross paths with a real-life Yeti that night, or are they simply misleading us? Share your thoughts. Next, we have footage that we're still trying to wrap our heads around. This TikTok motorbiker who films his adventures on his bike through the woodlands was on one of his adventures when he realized that he was actually lost. After riding around trying to find his way out without much success, he stops to try and reach a friend, but without much luck. As he stood there wondering what to do, he heard hisses coming from the bushes. He quickly turns around trying to find the creature. Whatever it is, it appears to be making really good use of the camouflage the plants make possible. The uploader of the footage indicated where the creature was standing with the arrow you see on your screen. But try as we may, we couldn't see the creature. Can you? If so, what creature are we dealing with? Could it be a bear or wolf of some kind? Or perhaps a cryptid? It's a Bigfoot, isn't it? Please do share what you see. Children are very playful and imaginative, often having the wildest of imaginations. However, it's also believed that they are more attuned to the spiritual realm because of their innocence, making them more likely to see things that adults cannot.
Oh my God!
What's the matter?
I just want to sleep with you now.
A mother placed a camera in a daughter's room after the girl started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming that an evil man was watching her. What she captured during one of those nights is chilling. By the bed was a strange-looking face, staring right at the girl. In another footage, the woman heard strange noises coming from her daughter's room. But when she checked, there was no one there. This indicates that the child was not just seeing things, but the question remains, what could this entity be, and why is it targeting the little girl? Speaking of strange and unexplainable phenomena, take a look at this one. So, a group of explorers allegedly came across this previously uncontacted tribe deep in the woods. The tribe was naturally careful of their strange and uninvited visitors. They looked at them with confusion and tried to scare them off. Despite their best efforts, these individuals stayed and recorded them. Now, we're not told where this took place, but it's supposed to be deep within the woods. The first time I saw this, I was genuinely afraid for the explorers, because uncontacted tribes don't mess around. They could definitely kill you if they thought you were a threat. These guys, however, were way too understanding and did not harm the explorers despite being provoked. That's when I noticed it. Although this was supposed to be out in the deep woods, there appeared to be a tarred road in one of the shots. If this was an uncontacted tribe deep in the woods, then it's unlikely that there would be tarred roads anywhere near them. This does bring credibility to the whole clip into question. What do you guys think? The enigmas of Trailcam photography, always ready to present us with a puzzle. In this intriguing image, taken by a trusty Trailcam, we're faced with something truly mysterious, something that defies easy description. At first glance, it's a structure or creature that's rather hard to pin down. The upper part, which we might speculate is the head, resembles something like the head of a small creature, like a squirrel, but then again it could pass for a nest. Its lower section looks like a tangle of tree branches and twigs. Now the question is, what on earth could this be? Is it some peculiar plant growth in the woods? Did someone set it up? If so, for what purpose? Or could it perhaps be a tree monster straight out of folklore? The truth is, we don't know, and neither does the one whose Trailcam took the footage. Here's the real mystery, though. Whatever this is, when the one whose Trailcam took the pictures returned to the location, it wasn't there. This leaves us with a mystery that might remain unsolved, leaving us with a sense of wonder and curiosity. A truck driver is on the road when suddenly he starts to feel very uncomfortable. Did he hit something, perhaps a stray dog or some object on the road? Concerned, he parks his truck and checks his rearview mirror, then looks behind the vehicle. Initially, there's nothing unusual to be seen, just an empty road behind him. It's as if his initial concern was unfounded. However, that nagging feeling persists, so he decides to give it another look. This time, as he reviews the footage from his dashcam, he spots something rather peculiar. There's an entity of some sort captured behind his car in the dashcam's recording, but when he physically turns around to see, there's absolutely nothing there. It's like a digital ghost, an image that exists on screen but not in the real world. The sheer oddity of the situation leaves the driver with a sense of bewilderment. Was it a technological glitch, perhaps something with the camera or the recording process? Or could it be something more mysterious, something that defies easy explanation? Without waiting to find out, he bolts out of this place, and I can see myself doing the same if I were him. Here we have another strange sighting in the sky.
I think the sky is ripping hell. Come on, Cloud, get out the way.
A man noticed a straight line cutting across the sky, almost as if the sky itself was being divided by this line. This phenomenon is quite puzzling and has left many people wondering about its origin. The footage shows a clear, straight line that appears almost too perfect to be natural. It stretches across the horizon, creating a stark contrast between the two halves of the sky. This has raised numerous questions and speculations. Some speculate that it is a sign of advanced technology or even extraterrestrial activity. The precision of the line looks like the involvement of technology beyond what we currently understand, perhaps UFOs or secret military experiments. Others are considering the possibility of a naturally occurring optical illusion. Reflections, refractions, and light scattering can sometimes create surprising visual effects, making the sky appear divided by a line. Do you think this could be the result of any of those, or do you think there might be something more serious and ominous at play here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
Y'all see the line?
Watermelon out over a week ago. It smelled really good. Bought it from Walmart. Cut it open, and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
This is another clip from another set of melons allegedly bought from Walmart and thrown away because they tasted strange. Do you realize they aren't breaking down and looking like raw meat? Melons aren't supposed to look like that, which has left almost everyone confused, as many in the forums argued that the government was killing us. There was also some who thought that this was normal and exactly what melons are supposed to look like when they dry out. Do we have any farmers or fruit experts among you who can confirm and educate us? We'll be reading in the comments.
This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
A security camera captured a remarkable event during a torrential downpour. At first, a sharp whistle-like sound pierces the air, followed by a sudden blinding flash of lightning that produces a deafening thunder. As the lightning dissipates, a strange, eerie red hue appears on the ground and all the lights in the vicinity go out. It's fascinating to note how the red hue seems to linger on the ground as though something has been left behind. One commenter on the video speculated that the incident was caused by lightning hitting a transformer. It's an interesting theory, but what do you think? As technology continues to advance at a rapid pace, scientists are exploring the possibility of transferring human consciousness to other bodies to achieve immortality. While this might seem like a distant concept, it's much closer than most of us might think. In a podcast featuring Billy Carson, he explains how human consciousness has already been transferred to robots. Listen.
Transferring animals into a computer, which they did a monkey, 2045.com. Look it up. For the monkeys in the computer, his mind is, but the body's dead. Then by 2010 or 2012, they were supposed to have been able to transfer a human consciousness into a robot. They've already done that. And the United States as well. DARPA has a project called the Avatar Project. In an Avatar Project, they have a symbiotic link from a soldier underneath a mountain somewhere, like in a bunker, connected to a field robot. And it controls it through a mind connection. If the robot is destroyed, of course, the soldier doesn't die. And the only thing that stopped us from transferring consciousness from one brain to another was data storage.
Did you hear that? Soldiers can now remotely control robots that they are symbiotically linked to, even if they're far away. This is similar to the concept seen in the popular movie Avatar, where humans control genetically engineered alien bodies. This symbiotic relationship between soldiers and robots has massive implications for warfare and raises ethical concerns. How do you think the masses reacted? Well, take a look. This development is particularly significant because it indicates that we are rapidly approaching a time when humans will be able to transfer their consciousness to other bodies. While there are many good applications for this, we just can't ignore what the negative ones could be. What do you also think about this? There are things people expect to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, and being woken up by a cat crying is not one of them.
¿Qué onda eso?
Now, this man doesn't own a cat, yet the cries were so loud it sounded like the cat was inside his house. He went to investigate and found something even more disturbing. Behind the storage closet, he saw the figure of a child about 10 years old, which is odd since his children are only 3 and 4 years old. Once more, his children were fast asleep in their rooms. He opened the closet door, heart pounding, but found no one there. That was not normal, and it left him shaken. And I understand that. If I had my kids in a house where these things were happening, I'd be concerned too. So who or what was the figure behind the closet? This situation is incredibly eerie. The combination of the mysterious cat's cries and the apparition of a childlike figure is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. What do you think the man encountered that night? Screams and an eerie atmosphere, coupled with the fact that this was recorded at 1 o'clock in the morning, gives this clip all the important ingredients for a horror thriller recipe. Watching this for the first time made my skin crawl. It felt ominous, as though something evil was in the atmosphere. After watching the clip several times, I realized that the entity was actually screaming something. I did the research and realized she was screaming in an Indonesian language. She screamed, "Tolong bukain," which means, "please open it." This went on for 2 days, and for some odd reason, the individual whose house this was happening decided to open the door on the 3rd day of knocking. Once the door opens, there's a strange and perhaps old-looking woman standing behind it in a strange posture. This makes the individual quickly close the door and call the police. Once the police got there, however, whatever it was gone, never to be seen again. I think it was insane to open the door. It could have been anyone or anything out there, but perhaps that's just me. What would you have done in his shoes?
Barto Küçüktepe köyünde akşam saat 5:30 sıralarında ben hayvanları otlatırken havadan aniden bir cismin ortaya çıktığını ben
In the skies of the Vardo district of Mus, this was captured. The clip shows a dark object with a human-like body. You can see the shoulders, arms, and legs, but the head is not visible. What could this be? One commenter said it was a drone with clothes on. I guess that could make sense. Another commenter said that this was a flying Bigfoot. I mean, look closely. This thing has thick arms and legs. A sassy commenter also said this. "Oh, look, another video of a balloon-like object moving in a balloon-like way." Another also called it a balloon as well. It's almost like these guys knew what I was going to say and said it, but seriously, what do you guys think this is? Have you ever looked at a child and thought to yourself that they're not as clueless as we make them out to be? Well, if you haven't, this next clip might just change your mind.
The tree.
Honey, there's nobody in the tree.
Up there.
You can see somebody?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't see anybody, honey.
I see a girl.
You see a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, is she okay?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
Tell me. It's Dad.
As you can already tell from the clip, this woman parked her car by a tree with a child in the back seat. The child kept pointing to the tree and claimed to see a girl on the tree who had died.
Dad.
Honey, how did... I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree.
Dad, look, see? I see it. It's Dad.
What? The tree is dead?
No, a girl's dead.
Why do you think there's a girl dead?
Despite the woman's best efforts to find this girl or any sign of a presence, there was nothing or no one around on the tree. Naturally, this upset her a little, which is why she recorded and uploaded online to search for answers. Naturally, the discussions and arguments were all over the place with this clip. Some people called it a gift, while others stated that this kind of thing was natural with kids. Someone even shared a story featuring her son. Kids see ghosts. My son, when he was 2, asked me, "Who's that guy?" and pointed in our hallway. My husband was out of town at the time. I asked him if the guy was scary, and he said no, but I do believe he was seeing something. Another also shared her own experiences as a child. When I was 6, I saw an old man with a hat standing on the porch looking through the sliding glass door. At night, I screamed and my parents ran into the bedroom to find out why the man disappeared. Later, they received a call that Grandpa passed. As interesting as these sound, not everyone believes in these encounters. One comment suggested that it was just a figment of the child's wild imagination. While it's true that children have an active imagination and are prone to make up stories, these encounters are all too evident to ignore. After all, there's no smoke without fire. But what do you think? Did this child see something, or was it just a figment of their imagination?
Dad.
Honey, how did... I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree.
Dad, look, see? I see it.
While on a hike, a man saw a huge creature standing on a mountain overlooking the trail. It was a very big humanoid being appearing to be about 9 foot tall or more. The sheer size of this creature has led many to believe that it could be a Bigfoot or a giant. The figure's towering presence and human-like shape are certainly striking, making it easy to see why people would draw such conclusions. The idea of encountering a Bigfoot or a giant is both thrilling and unsettling, sparking curiosity and debate. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of a legendary creature, or is there another explanation? If you're wondering why I'm showing you pictures of an old bench, take a good look at it. Do you see it now? There appears to be a shadow of a woman either sitting on or kneeling by the bench. See? Good. But how do we explain it? Well, as far as I can tell, there's no logical explanation for what we're seeing here. At least, not from my perspective. Do you have one for me? Speaking of strange humanoid creatures, a subscriber sent this next one in. While the original post stated this was a mythic humanoid, that is, a mythological creature that's only part human, the subscriber believes it's simply human and nothing else. I've reviewed the clip several times, and I must say that while it does have a strange appearance, it might simply be a human and nothing else. The clip may have been edited, or he or she may be wearing a costume. That might account for the strange look. Beyond that, I don't see anything paranormal happening unless, of course, I'm under the power of this mythic human and it's making me say that to hide its identity. What do you think? Not everyone believes in paranormal events or entities. I'm pretty sure a number of you watching this video might also share the same sentiments. But how do we explain this? This incident took place around 3 a.m. when a motorcyclist was on his way home. A person suddenly appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the highway he was on. Naturally, this startled him, but just before he could properly react, the individual just disappeared. Fortunately, the writer managed to keep his composure and didn't panic. That could have resulted in a tragedy. While it's true that tech can be used to create convincing fakes, many doubted this was fake. They believed it was the real deal. Take a look at some of the comments. Several viewers claimed that this incident took place in the Philippines. Some even stated that they had seen it on television. Some went as far as analyzing the clip and stating that there were two, not one, individuals in the clip. But what do you see, and do you believe that this is indeed a ghost encounter or just a hoax? Pigeons, like all birds, have wings and feathers. The clip I'm about to show you, however, features a pigeon that was captured with strange markings in its wings that were only visible under UV light. Enjoy. You see it, don't you? This naturally left all who saw it with questions. Could pigeons still be in use as spy birds? Have secret organizations found a way to alter their bodies to suit their needs? It's hard to say, but who can argue with evidence? It's right there, unless of course the whole thing is a hoax and someone is having a laugh seeing us trying to figure this out. As always, I showed this to my science whiz Julius, waiting to be teased, but instead he was quiet. That's his way of saying, I don't think this is real, but it's not impossible to pull off. You've seen it too. What do you think is going on here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Is this how full chicken is made or processed? In this clip, someone picked up a dressed chicken and inserts a strange-looking tube into it through the neck. As they pump the substance into the chicken, it swells up and looks plump, like a fat chicken. We're not sure what's being pumped into the chicken, but it certainly doesn't look healthy. The substance being injected could be anything from water to chemical fillers, which raises significant concerns about food safety and consumer health. It's alarming to think that this practice might be used to artificially enhance the appearance of poultry, making it seem more appealing and increasing its weight for higher sales. If true, this could mean that consumers are unknowingly buying adulterated products, potentially exposing themselves to harmful substances. Am I the only one worried about what's happening to our food recently? Now, what do we have here? Before you scream alien or cryptid, you should know that this is someone's arm with body modification. It's insane or cool, depending on what you're into. The strange bumps running along the arm almost resemble the vertebrae of a spine, don't they? And that massive X marking on the back of the palm? People do go crazy about these things. Are you one of them? And would you try this? Let us know in the comments section. Speaking of strange things, take a look at this clip. What do you see? Hard to tell, right? A subscriber sent this in and we've been trying to decipher it since we received it. Some members of the team think it's a spider, but can spiders move their eyes like that? Others think we might be dealing with something alien. Based on the lack of availability of evidence and its lack thereof, I'm tempted to side with this assertion. The individual who sent it in doesn't know what it is either and refused to tell us where the clip came from. Let's treat this as a bonus clip. Who can find out what this is as well as where it came from? If you can and we can authenticate it, then you get the opportunity to be featured in our next clip. What do you guys say? Start your answer with the word bonus so we can find it easily. A man was walking by a school when he noticed something strange. The school bus in the yard had children's figures running in it. However, it wasn't time for kids to be outside, and the bus wasn't meant for playing. So what exactly could be going on here? Curious, the man got closer to the bus to investigate, only to find out that what he thought were kids had eerily vanished from the bus. When he shared his story, those who heard it believed these figures were spirits of children who had passed away or childlike entities. However, skeptics argue that this could just be a well-crafted hoax. They suggest that reflections, shadows, or even projections could create the illusion of children inside the bus. Yet a similar incident occurred where a camera on a bus showed it filled with kids, and in the next second they'd all vanished. Is this a mere trick of light and shadow, or is something truly out of this world happening? Dogs protect their owners from physical harm, but what do you do when you can't see what your dogs are trying to protect you from? Confused? Well, watch this. It was a peaceful evening until the dog of the one filming started barking. Thinking someone might have snuck into the house, he quickly went to check the feed from his CCTV cameras, and what you're seeing on your screen is exactly what he saw. You do see it, don't you? Some invisible yet smoky and intangible being quickly ran across the compound or room. It repeats a few more times and there's still no tangible body in sight. The man is confused, and I can understand his confusion. I'm sure he was worried and thinking about what exactly had made its way to his home and how he could deal with it. Sure, he could trust his dog to deal with physical foes, but spiritual and intangible ones? Where does he go from there? Anyway, what do you think we could be dealing with? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. In this footage, you can see a jet pilot pouring water into a cup and drinking it while the craft goes around, but the air never spills. How is this possible? Well, this is because of three main reasons. Firstly, as the aircraft moves, it creates a force called centripetal force. This force pushes the water toward the bottom of the cup, helping to keep it in place even if the cup is tilted or upside down. Secondly, water has a property called inertia, which means it wants to keep moving in the same direction as the aircraft. So even if the cup is tilted or turned upside down during the aircraft's maneuvers, the water stays inside because it wants to follow the aircraft's movement. Lastly, there's something called surface tension on the water's surface, like a thin skin that holds the water molecules together. This surface tension helps to keep the water in the cup, especially when the cup is tilted or inverted. With all these factors combined, the water stays put in the cup even when the aircraft is pulling off tricks, allowing the pilot to enjoy their drink without any spills. Either that or the clip is fake, which is your money on. Still on the strange and weird, take a look at this clip. This video was posted online featuring a rather strange and mysterious creature. The creature appeared to have tentacles that were moving about as it floated in the air. The person who posted the video claimed that it was a leviathan, but people were not convinced. Take a look at some of the comments from the original post. Most people believed it was just a kite due to the varying shapes and sizes kites can come in. Another theory was that it was a weather balloon, but we're not exactly sure if there are weather balloons in this shape. Despite the many skeptics, some remained convinced that the creature was indeed a leviathan. For those who don't know, the leviathan is a mythical sea creature with tentacles. If we're going to be accurate to the lore, I'm not exactly sure it can fly, but hey, this is the 21st century where anything can be possible. So what do you think? This image was taken at night, and you can definitely tell just by how grainy the whole thing looks. Given the fact that the image was taken at night, only the outline of the creature captured in it is visible. The dark, shadowy figure stands out against the dim background, making it difficult to discern any specific features beyond its unusual head size and familiar bipedal stance. Could this really be? Yeah, if you said Bigfoot, then you were definitely thinking what I was thinking. Bigfoot is typically described as an ape-like creature with a domed head and a human-like posture. This creature resembles a Bigfoot, except that it has a very small head. Is this just a small-headed Bigfoot, or is there something else going on here? Calling on all Bigfoot experts, please educate us. And if you didn't think any of those clips were weird enough, pay attention to the flower the young guy drops on the coffin. Did you see that? It somehow got absorbed into the coffin, almost as though whomever was buried was taking it. This freaked me out and is still freaking me out. Can anyone offer an explanation to what would make sense? If you have such an experience as well, please share. Our next clip takes us all the way to Mexico, where a farmer made a startling discovery: a small, humanoid creature that appeared to be completely dried up. The creature was in a fetal position with a pair of arms and legs. Although it was only a few inches long, the shape of its skull was quite large, which led to much speculation. Some people believe the creature was an aborted or miscarried fetus due to its small size. Others have suggested that it could be an alien. Some claim that the creature was an extraterrestrial being that had somehow ended up on Earth. And some think that the creature was a duende. For those unfamiliar with the term, in Mexican folklore, duendes are small mischievous creatures that are said to inhabit the wilds of the country. They're known for their distinctive physical features, which include oversized heads and limbs. Despite much debate and speculation, the true identity of this thing remains a mystery. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it is? This final clip is one of my favorites. Enjoy. Two pedestrians were about to cross the road, each person standing across from the other on the side of the road. The car taking the footage stopped for them to cross. Before anyone could understand what was happening, the older-looking pedestrian quickly scooped up the child and ran to the other sidewalk. In a split second, we know why. Another car overtakes from the side at high speed. The child might have died had the pedestrian not acted quickly. That was a close one. It's great to see people still put their lives on the line for those who need it. Next, we've got a peculiar and curious situation. A man put a fish into an opening that led to a body of water below, and suddenly something snapped the body of the fish off, leaving just the head in his hand. Just like me, I know you might be wondering what creature could be down there that took the fish from his hand. The possibilities are intriguing and alarming. It could be a large predatory fish like a pike or a barracuda, known for their powerful jaws and swift, deadly strikes. Another possibility is an alligator or a crocodile if the water connects to an area where these reptiles live. With their formidable bite strength and lightning-fast reactions, they can easily snap up a fish, leaving a stunned onlooker with just the remnants. The truth, however, is simple. It's hard to tell what we're dealing with. The man, however, appears to know what's down there. One thing we could be happy and thankful for is the fact that at least the man's fingers are intact. You know that haunting feeling of being watched that leaves the hairs on your skin raised? A woman experienced this chilling sensation whilst out in the woods in broad daylight in Connecticut. She stumbled upon an abandoned shack, and as she got closer, she began to feel uneasy, as if she was not alone and someone or something was watching her. To settle her fears, she took out a camera and began to look around but saw nothing, so she decided to return home. At home, she reviewed the footage to see if she had missed anything during her initial search. As she scrutinized the video, she saw it. A dark figure crouched at the side of the shack, its neck stretched out and staring right at her. This figure didn't resemble any wildlife animal she knew, and the sight of it sent chills down her spine. Disturbed by her discovery, she shared the footage online, hoping to find out what this eerie figure could be. The video started quite an uproar among viewers. Some suggested it could be a shadow person, a type of paranormal entity often reported in haunted locations. Others speculated it might be a cryptid, a creature whose existence is suggested but not scientifically confirmed, like Bigfoot or the Jersey Devil. A few skeptics proposed that the figure could be a trick of the light or a result of pareidolia, where the human mind sees familiar patterns like faces and random objects. Some even thought it might be a person living in the shack, possibly a hermit or someone hiding from society. What do you think it is?
Come on out. Why not? Yeah, come on out. Come on. Come on out. Yeah, let's leave.
This footage was taken by a man who lives on the Louis Bull Tribe Reserve in Alberta, Canada. The area is known as a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings, adding an extra layer of mystery to this already eerie event. The man was at home when he began to hear strange whispers coming from the woods. The whispers sounded very unusual, and as the voice kept muttering words, one of the phrases it said was, "Wanna play?" According to the man, the voices sounded incredibly close, but when he looked around, he saw nothing. Despite calling out to whatever was making the noises, he received no response. Feeling unsettled, he eventually called the police to check the area, but they found nothing either. So who or what could have been out there calling out to him?
Why not? Yeah, come on out. Come on.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.